Welcome into Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska, as tonight the Matsu Miners go for win number 22 on the year. I'm Reese Landon, joined by my partner Sean Neef, and tonight the Miners obviously going for win number 22, and it would be 6 in a row with the win tonight. They locked up a playoff seed last night with a win over the Bucs, so they'll look to continue to trim that magic number down from 8 where it is right now to clinch the top seed in the ABL Top of the World playoffs.
And on the other side with the Bucs, they're having the skid of a lifetime right now. And with the game right now, they have a real possibility of being only within a game of the Peninsula Oilers at the bottom of the ABL in contention for the final playoff spot as the season finally decides to wind down.
Yeah, 1-9 in the past 10 games for the Anchorage Bucs. They have been in a midst of a deep slide. This will be the lineup the Miners send out to face Jacob Rutherford, the Bucs starting pitcher from the University of Gonzaga. Leading off at second base, Holden Breeze. Batting second in center field from Grand Canyon University, Tyler Wilson. Hitting third at first base from St. John's, Nick Sorelli. Batting cleanup at DH, Tyler Rando from Gonzaga. Hitting fifth over at third base, Casey Rother from Lehigh University. Batting sixth in left field, Aaron Walters from Angelo State. Hitting seventh in right field is Ricky Nunez from Mount San Jacinto College. Hitting eighth, Sam Thompson, and behind the plate, he's from Kent State University. And batting ninth at shortstop, David Bermudez from Rider University. We're going to take a short break here from Anchorage after the national anthem, and we'll be back in just a few moments. I can do this if you want. We're back here from downtown Anchorage as the national anthem concludes, and Jacob Rutherford, the right-hander from Gonzaga University, toes the rubber on the year. He's pitched in 4 games, an ERA over 7 last time out for Jacob Rutherford. He went 6 innings, giving up 4 runs, struck out 7, took a no decision in a loss to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. That's how the Bucs will line up defensively. In left field, Jack Mactoff. Over in center field, Garrett Ostrainer, and then in right field, Carson Rocafort. Infield left to right, Diego Becerra at the hot corner. Over at third, shortstop is Tyson Donahue. Second base, Xavier Pinales. And then over at first base, Jake Skipworth. Pitcher-catcher battery, once again, Rutherford. And then Cole Carrick, who we've seen in center field past couple times against this Bucs team. He's beyond the plate tonight.
Interesting to see them throw Rutherford out there. As you had mentioned, his ERA over 7, currently sitting at a 9 flat. But what draws my attention is 17 hits and only 8 innings pitched. So not only is he not getting outs quickly, but hitters seem to see him very well. Miners got off to a hot start last night in the early innings. I'm interested to see if they're able to carry over any momentum into this game.
Holden Breeze had 2 hits last night, including a solo home run out of the leadoff spot. He's right back there today, so manager Tyler LeBrun showing some confidence in Holden to hit in that leadoff spot. Had a pregame interview with him before the game. If you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. It's on our YouTube page. He's a soft-spoken guy, but carries a big bat as he'll lead it off. Be Breeze, Wilson, Sorelli.
And what's really underestimated about putting Breeze in that leadoff spot, I think you would put it best in the last game. Tyler Wilson fits into that 2 spot so much better than he would in any leadoff spot with a reliable on-base percentage with Breeze in front of him. Wilson can just focus on keeping this great streak he's got going.
Tyler Wilson is absolutely raking lately, but he's not going to be the first one up. We'll see him next as he stands in the on-deck circle in the Holden Breeze. The South Mountain Community College product, native of Arizona. As he steps in first, wearing number 1. Miners in their alternate camo today. We've mostly seen it on the road this year. The Bucs in their home whites. So Rutherford toes the rubber, and we are ready for first pitch here from Mulcahy Stadium. First pitch at 7 o'clock p.m. even as Holden Breeze right back up the box. First pitch of the game. How about this kid, huh?
He's wasted no time there. Forget ambush tactics. Nobody even had a chance to set down for the game yet. First pitch taken for the first hit.
Holden Breeze right back up the box. And now another Arizona native, Tyler Wilson, switch hitter from Grand Canyon University, next in. Wilson yesterday had a couple of walks in the minors. Win over the Anchorage Bucs last night at Mulcahy. This is the 3rd game in a row here at Mulcahy, and it will be the last game until the last game of the year here at Mulcahy against either the Bucs or the Pilots as Wilson watches ball 1.
I'm sure these miners are ready to head back to Herman Brothers for just a short bit at least. They've been down here in Anchorage almost every single day. The trip's got to be taking a little bit of a toll on them by now.
As it's 1-0 on Tyler Wilson. He takes that one outside too. Rutherford quickly falling behind. Holden Breeze, we've already seen him swipe 3 bases this year. Certainly a threat to run. And as he leads off first, you got to think maybe he gives it an opportunity. Breeze stands off first. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike 1, outside corner. So Breeze standing over there. 2-1 count to Tyler Wilson. Stands in, bat over that left shoulder. Rutherford sets. And a long pause on the mound. Here it comes, and it's way outside, ball 3. So Tyler Wilson almost has another walk. He obviously had 2 yesterday. If he were to reach here, it'd be first and second, none out for Nick Sorelli.
Did get the ball there, but really seemed to disrupt Breeze's timing. His jump was almost just a second too early, so he had no real chance to steal should he wanted to.
As Wilson swings and grounds this to second, a routine double play ball. If they can get it, they get 1, but they will not get 2. Tyler Wilson runs really well up the first baseline, so that's going to go down as a fielder's choice. We go 4-6 on the fielder's choice. Now with 1 out, Nick Sorelli.
Well, there's a reason he plays center field. Tyler Wilson showing off his speed there. Obviously not the play you wanted getting 1 out, but avoid the double play at least.
Sorelli from St. John's comes in hitting .298 on the year. 5 homers, 12 RBIs. He stands in now with 1 away. First pitch is maybe a bit of a breaking ball, a bit high to Sorelli. Takes ball 1. Sorelli on the year, 21 walks to 21 strikeouts. So he has struck out a bit, but also leads the league in walks. And in a day and age where strikeouts aren't what they used to be or meant to be, obviously he's not worried about taking more strikeouts. Sorelli back in, 1-0 pitch on the way. Check swing did not go, and it's low for ball 2.
Good job to lay off that one. Wilson could have honestly gotten on with another walk should he have waited for another pitch, but wasted being ahead in the count. I'm sure Sorelli's trying to learn from that.
Wilson off of first. Here's the pitch, and it's fastball outside, so Sorelli really in the driver's seat now, up 3-0.
And Rutherford only got that first out because of Wilson swinging on a 3-0 count. Likely to offer something pretty easy right here.
3-0 pitch is inside for ball 4. Sorelli didn't think it was ball 4. He thought it was a strike. He stood in there and then kind of nonchalantly started jogging down to first. So it's a 4-pitch walk for Jacob Rutherford. And now the man of the hour, Tyler Rando, who yesterday had a 3-for-4 day. Also had a 2-run single. He's now the Miners' leader in RBIs on the season. He's got 15 of them, go along with a home run and a .297 batting average.
Rando seems to be playing his brand of baseball again. Obviously, did his work behind the plate yesterday, but offers a healthy dosage of offense.
He takes a low strike one there. Rando's last 19 at-bats, he's got 8 hits, including 6 RBIs, has also taken 4 walks. That's good for a 421, 542, 421 slash line. That'll play. So he watches the ball just a bit inside, 1-1.
And doesn't even seem like they need that slugging at the moment. Rutherford dancing around these batters with his pitches.
Pretty sunny day here in Anchorage, contrast to yesterday where it was pretty overcast for most of the late innings, but it's really sunny here today. Talking to Christian Seahorse during the game, or before the game actually, he said the sun index, is that what it is?
The UV index.
UV index, sun index, UV index, same thing, was a 6.
It's definitely bright out there, especially coming right towards us. So, catcher and anyone else looking this way at the moment.
1-2 pitch is in the dirt. Good block by Cole Carrick, who's been all over the field for these Bucs. He's played right field, left field, center. Second time we've seen him behind the plate. We saw him behind the plate in the second game these two teams played. That was back on June 8th. As this pitch is lined hard but foul, so Rando stays alive. It'll be 2-2 once again.
Going back to Carrick, if there was one reason they were going to win the game yesterday, it was the energy he brought to the dugout while stealing home. So a bit of irony considering the position he's playing today, but regardless, he's going to look to have a bit of impact for his team.
Rando standing back in on 2-2. As that pitch is up high, and how about this at-bat for Tyler Rando? He's in a 3-2 count now, and one more ball will load up the bases. An interesting name not in the lineup today that we were talking about a bit pregame. Woody Hadeen is not in the lineup today for the Anchorage Bucs. So a fairly new lineup out there. Pinales not in the lineup yesterday. Rocafort, yes, not in the lineup yesterday. And they moved around a lot of positions. So it's 3-2 on Rando. Wilson with a huge lead. He's taking off a double steal, but it's ball 4 anyway. So Tyler Rando with the walk. I mean, that was a huge lead off second base for Tyler Wilson. He could have stole second running backwards. Instead, it's a walk and bases loaded with 1 out for Casey Rother.
I think Tyler Wilson was going on that regardless of what the outcome was. The only reason he was going to be returning to second is if it was a fly ball.
So now it's bases loaded for Casey Rother, who struggled a bit yesterday. He had the batting gloves on yesterday. Today, no batting gloves, so maybe it's a sign of good mojo for him. He's got the sacks full here as he swings first pitch. Line drive, deep left center field. Way back and gone! A grand salami, Casey Rother! Give me 4 RBI as he circles the bases, and how about that?
Well, why collect just a few RBIs when you can get them all? Casey Rother on the first pitch turns it the other way, and the Miners keep their streak of home runs going.
And the big celebration at the dugout, that ball was scalded into left center field. That was one of the longest home runs we've seen here at Mulcahy. And the Miners, just like yesterday, snake out an early lead. This time it's 4-0.
And we're not even out of the inning.
How about that? So now Aaron Walters in. Bases empty, 1 out. Rutherford winds, here it comes. It's swung on and hit back up the middle, and that's going to get into center field. A little bit of a bloop shot for Aaron Walters as he reaches, and the Miners continue to threaten on the base pass.
Well, we saw Rutherford's numbers before the game, allowing multiple hits per inning, and to see the amount of production we've seen from the Miners, I'm not too surprised. They seem to have the upper hand early.
Now it's going to move all the way to the 7th hitter in the order, Ricky Nunez. Comes up to the plate. Ricky knocked in a run yesterday on an infield single. Hit a screamer back up the middle that was knocked down, but there was no play. So he watches a breaking ball for strike 1 there.
Miners looking to add on any insult to injury that they have right now. Just rubbing rubbing some dirt in the wound. Already up 4 in the inning, and Ricky Nunez has a chance to advance the runner further.
So he slaps that one out of play, quickly down 0-2. And you got to be thinking right now in the dugout, if you're the Bucs, I mean, 4-0 hole already. And for an offense who hasn't exactly been scoring runs at a rapid rate lately, this is turning into a dire situation as Nunez watches a ball just upstairs. No, it's a called strike 3, a very late strike 3 call by the home plate umpire, but Nunez is sent packing 2 away.
So finally gets the second out after having all the ducks on the pond cleared. Now we're going to see Sam Thompson, the 8th hitter in this inning, to come to the plate.
Thompson, the catcher, back in the lineup, a couple of days off. Kent State University. As he watches a pitch low there, but called a strike. 0-1. Eric behind the plate has a long reach. He's a big dude, is Cole Carrig, and he's able to reach, and he's a pretty good framer, actually, behind the plate as well. As Thompson stands here. 1-1. Watches that pitch upstairs. So, the count now is going to be 1-1.
Sam Thompson finally getting a chance back in this lineup. Usually only comes in when he's behind the plate, which he is today, but can put some real line shots into the field, and against Rutherford, they seem to be doing just that so far.
Rutherford trying to navigate around any more damage. I mean, it's been a tough first inning. Standing in now. Here's Thompson. Swing and a miss. So he's put out on strikes. To end things here in the top of the first, but not before the Miners clear the bases. Casey Rother lofts his second home run of the year. This one in the grand slam fashion. The Miners take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the first. We'll see Michael Paul toe the rubber here at Mulcahy. Cole Carrig, the San Diego State Aztec, steps to the plate as the Bucs have some work to do. Gave up a 4th spot in the first as Carrig steps in, switch hitter. He'll bat From the left side, the starter for the Miners today is coming off a really good performance his last time out, and that man is Michael Paul. Went 7 innings last game, no runs, gave up just 5 hits and 3 walks, striking out 5. Took the win in the 7-inning doubleheader game 1 against the Peninsula Oilers, so it was a complete game. As Paul winds here and delivers, and it's a fastball strike. A bigger zone by the home plate umpire today, but Paul taking advantage of that and gets a strike there.
One interesting aspect of Michael Paul's life here in Alaska, I don't know if he fully planned for the 4-hour time difference between here and Tampa.
Yeah, something that we talked about Michael Paul with is he's actually taking classes at the University of Tampa, where he attends college and plays baseball, that are 8 a.m. Eastern time. And Alaska obviously is 4 hours behind, so he's been waking up at 4 a.m. to take college classes, so he's got certainly a big burden on his plate, but right now he's 2 strikes in to Cole Carrick.
I'm sure he's caffeinated up and ready to go for today.
Hope that is the case as he stands back in. Paul on the year coming in with a 1.77 ERA as this ball is grounded back up the middle, sliding stop Bermudez to first, not in time.
Did just about everything right, but just couldn't beat out the speed.
An excellent play by David Bermudez, ranging far up the middle to snag that, but unable to get the out. Cole Carrick really runs well up the line. Anybody else, besides maybe Woody Adine, might have been out there, but 1 on, not out. Jack Mactoff, the left fielder, stands in.
Mactoff, and one of their best bats of the year, one of the highest averages of this squad.
He takes ball 1 there. Another Gonzaga Bulldog. I mean, there's so many Gonzaga Bulldogs in this league. I feel like combined with the California guys, they're probably well over 50% of this league. Backed off, slightly open stance. This ball sets and fires, and this ball's way inside and hits him. So Mactoff gonna take first, and the Bucs here with a little bit of lightning. First and second, nobody out here in the first.
Hasn't taken much time for them to respond and get 2 on. Obviously, 1 done by the hand of Paul himself, but still, they have 2 on and a chance to eat into this lead early.
Paul coming in, 20.1 innings. He's allowed 17 hits and 7 walks. Struck out 15. He's got a record of 2-1. Go along with that 1.77 ERA. He stands in here against the 3-hitting Jake Skipworth, who takes ball 1, and Sam Thompson's going to jog out to the mound and talk to Michael Paul, maybe calm him down a little bit.
Really shocking to see Paul not be in control every outing he's had so far. While he has allowed some hits, he generally doesn't get too far behind, only allowing 4 earned runs in the 20 innings he's pitched. This is looking like a real jam for Michael Paul.
He's got a tough task, and Jake Skipworth as well. Skipworth standing in, even 250 batter. Homer and 14 RBIs. 11 walks, 21 strikeouts. Has 6 doubles as well, as he's 26 of 104 on the year. As Paul stands set from the stretch, here's the pitch. And it's a strike on the outside edge, so Paul battles back a bit. It's 1-1. Again, this lineup goes Carrick, Mactoff, Skipworth, and then Cole Moore in the on-deck circle. In the hole, Diego Vaquero. The 1-1 is a fastball, strike 2, good pitch, and Skipworth maybe a bit upset with himself. Thought he should have went after that one. Instead, he's in a 1-2 hole. Skipworth hailing from the University of California, Berkeley. The 1-2 is a slider, strike 3. Michael Paul putting out Skipworth in the minor dugout, having maybe a little rivalry after a couple events happened yesterday with Jake Skipworth in the minor dugout. They'll cheer him back to the bench, and one away, it's Cole Moore.
Big punch out for Michael Paul with that last out. Now he has a chance to get himself into a pretty easy escape should he get another strikeout here.
The Dallas Baptist product into the box now. Standing at 6'2", 215 pounds as he takes a fastball for strike one. And whatever Sam Thompson told Michael Paul, right now it's working.
He's really gone into his bag of illusions. Every pitch outside the zone looks like it's going to be a ball and just breaks right in. See if he can get ahead even further now.
As he unleashes another fastball, this one a little bit up, so Paul's gone 1-1. Talked a little pregame about how the wind is blowing out into left center and left field. You can see by the flagpole and straightaway left that it is carrying out, so balls are going to have a little extra oomph to it today. That fastball is a strike on the outside edge. I mean, it is a big zone for the home plate umpire tonight.
And if you're Michael Paul or Rutherford, I'm sure you're fine with either one of those zones because the bigger the strike zone, the happier the pitcher.
As Paul stands set and unleashes a changeup, and that was filthy. Cole Moore back to the dugout, strike three, way out in front of it, and now it's Diego Vaquero.
That was just cold-blooded by Michael Paul. Looked right back at Kerrigan in one fluid motion, put away his teammate.
Absolutely pulled the string there. That was a beautiful pitch, and now Diego Vaquero is the last chance for the Bucs.
Vaquero looking to at least make this competitive after one as the Miners had their own grand slam.
As there's a fastball for strike one. Paul goes ahead with an outside fastball. Now Vaquero standing back in. 0-1 count, runner way off second base. The pitch is a fastball off, snap throw down to first, in time! How about that? Sam Thompson with an absolute laser to pick off Jack Mactoff, and that'll end the first.
Well, we've seen a great throw from Thompson throughout this season, but a lot more relevant early on. Now we're reminded at just how much defensive prowess he has.
Sorelli didn't even have to move his glove. That ball went straight to glove and into the body of Mactoff, diving back in. So that'll end things here in the first. Miners give up a couple early runners, but Michael Paul does an excellent job working around damage. We'll head to the second. Miners 4, Bucs none. We'll be back here from Mulcahy in just a few moments. We're back here from downtown Anchorage as we start the second inning. It's the bottom of the order, David Bermudez to the plate now. Bermudez didn't get a chance to bat in the first. He was the lone Miner to not bat in a 4-run first. Bermudez leading things off.
I don't think he minds too much getting the chance to go here early in the second.
As Bermy watches a breaking ball there, strike one. Rutherford back out there, endured a tough first inning. Rutherford pitches primarily out of the Gonzaga bullpen. So the starting role isn't all that familiar to him as that pitch skipped about 56.5 feet in front of the plate. blocked by the catcher behind the plate, Carrig. It's 1-1.
It's almost a little disappointing we don't get to have a Bulldog matchup, as the Miners have their own Bulldog pitcher with Daniel Naughton.
As the 1-1 coming, and Burmy puts this up the third base line. Fielded by Vaquero. He's got a really strong arm and showcases it there. To go 5-3, ground out number 1. And now the top of the order to be Holden Breeze.
Vaquero obviously had that error yesterday to begin the game, but recovering quickly and taking a lot more time with his throws now.
Rutherford from Post Falls, Idaho. He's the only Idaho native on either roster, and I'd like to think the ABL, obviously not a huge baseball state, more known for potatoes than baseball.
What a sense of identity.
As Breeze swinging early here as he swings and misses for strike 1. First pitch of the game, he sent right back up to shoot into center field for a base hit.
And did that right on the first pitch. See if he's going to attack early here again. That's exactly what he's trying to do.
As it's a slow roller out to short. Up with it is the shortstop Donahue. He'll go to first, and that's his second out of the inning. He'll go 6-3. A couple of groundouts for the Miners here to start the second. And now Tyler Wilson, who grounded into a fielder's choice his first time, will come up next.
Well, you send 8 batters to the plate in the first inning. You think you're going to have an offensive explosion. Then you turn around the next inning. They are looking at a possible 1-2-3.
Miners scored 5 runs in the first 4 innings last night. Were blanked their final 5 offensive innings. And we'll see if they'll have more luck today in the later innings. But already a 4-0 lead as Tyler Wilson takes ball 1.
Tyler Wilson, part of the reason they have that lead came across earlier with the run on the fielder's choice. So, see if he's able to get on once again.
As he pops this one straight up in the air, shading towards the left field line, not deep, over near the line is Jack Macduff. He'll make the catch, and that'll end the top of the second.
Miners not able to create much momentum there, and we're going to see if Michael Paul's going to have any more trouble on the base path.
So Paul back out. Had a couple of punch outs in the first inning. He'll be back out for the bottom of the second when we come back here from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska.
To lead off, third baseman number 30, Diego
We start
Vaquero.
the bottom of the second. Diego Vaquero, the Loyola Marymount product, to the plate. Vaquero from Mission Hills, California, as he pops this one straight up in the air, not deep, coming on Nunez and shallow right center. He'll make the catch, 1 away.
So we're going to have to wait to learn about Diego Vaquero until he waits for more than one pitch.
Mission Hills, California native, as he flies out there, and now it's the 7th batter or 6th batter, correct me, in the order, Carson Rocafort.
The right fielder for today's game, stepping in to see if he can use his speed on the base path to create any kind of mayhem.
Rocafort, and as he watches ball 1, he's a Texas native, Port Neches, I think it's Neches, something like that. He's from Louisiana Lafayette University, just finished up his freshman year, and he was a full-time player for the Ragin' Cajuns, as that pitch is a slider for strike one.
So far on the season, Roccaforte started off mediocre and has struggled more recently, but this one put into play well.
Stung into center field, and we got a diving trap out there in center field. Tyler Wilson certainly thought he caught it. He's kind of motioning his arms up like, I caught that.
Even Sorelli wasn't on first when he was rounding. Seems to be a lot of confusion on the field.
Rocafort certainly thought it was caught. And they're going to call this a hit after a short conference. And Tyler LeBron is out of the dugout, and for good reason. We really haven't seen Tyler Wilson show a bunch of emotion either way this year. But right there, he certainly thought he had that ball, as LeBron is going to argue now. But it's hard to see this call being overturned.
Not that we have the luxury of instant replay or multiple angles. You have our angle that we can show you and you can watch back, so tell us yourself what you think, but to me that looks as close to being clean as it could be.
Very hard to tell out there in center field, but just knowing Tyler Wilson, a quieter guy, if he thought he made the catch, I mean, I believe him. As LeBron is still arguing, and he might get ran if he continues. He's being directed back to the dugout. And the Bucs dugout is letting him hear it as he walks back there, but a 4-0 game, I really don't think that matters to Tyler LeBron. I think he's more worried about the scoreboard than the Bucs dugout.
No, but he does have his team back, and he'll always fight for his players.
So 1 out, and Kyson Donahue, left-hander from the University of Arizona, in now. 1 on, 1 out, as the first pitch is a fastball. Maybe a tad bit low. Ball 1.
Definitely a big zone and some tight calls in this game so far, making it a bit chaotic.
Donahue, like we said yesterday, one of 3 Hawaiians on this Bucs roster. He's from Honolulu, 6'3", 210 pounds. 1-0 count to him now as Paul at the set. Here it comes. And it's a swing and a foul tip into the mitt of Sam Thompson, strike 1.
Looking better and better is Michael Paul. Almost got robbed, I'll say, on that last one, but should have 2 quick outs. Instead, he's dealing with 1 on and only 1 away.
Donahue just 5 hits on the year. He's batting 167, 5 for 30, but he does have 6 RBIs as well as 7 walks, so he's found a way to reach base. As the 1-1 here is a fastball just off the outside edge, 2-1.
Well, everything seems a bit inverse now, causing a bit of shrinkage on the outside of the strike zone.
It's been inconsistent through an inning and a half plus. As Paul sets, here's the 2-1. Breaking ball, good block by Thompson. Runner taking off, throw down to second base. Almost got him. Throw was in the dirt. It skipped up to Bermudez. Had he caught it cleanly, they would have got Rocafort at second. Instead, it bounded a bit off his glove, and Rocafort will move up to second base.
Can't blame Sam Thompson for trying to fire it in there. He got a good 1 bounce, but Bermudez just couldn't glove that kind of fireball.
And in Bermudez's defense, I mean, fielding the ball off this turf, especially on a short hop, is no easy measure, as swinging and missing is Kyson Donahue there, and he's now down 2 strikes.
They might need to bring out the sword the way he's hacking at everything.
3-2 count now. There is an open base over at first as the batter on deck, Garrett Ostrander, stands in the circle. 3-2 count. Paul checking back at Rocafort. Here it is. Breaking ball, and just getting a piece of that is Donahue. He'll stay alive to see another.
Well, lucky to just get a piece of that one. When you get behind a 2-strike count to Michael Paul, he has a variety of breaking pitches that can end your time at the plate.
3-2. Paul already with a couple of punch-outs. Looking for number 3. He stands in now. Here it comes. And there's a foul ball hit over the Buck dugout, way back out of play into the parking lot. So still 3-2 on Kyson Donahue.
Miners looking to make the back of the ABL Rays more competitive. Should they win here today, And should the Peninsula Oilers win their game against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks?
As that ball is scorched foul again, so continue the battle as Kyson Donahue will now see his 8th pitch of the at-bat coming next. The Oilers right now are up 5-2 in Kenai against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, who have been on a slide as of late. They've lost 3 in a row, and down 3. This would be their 4th loss in a row. As this ball is swung on, hit in the air, pretty deep center field. Wilson going back, now settling under it. He's got it. The runner going for third. The throw to third is not going to be in time. As moving over is Roca for it. It's a fly out to center field. Just getting under that was Kyson Donahue, 2 away.
And wasn't going to get there in time, but was a solid throw from Tyler Wilson over in center field on the one hop. He's got a lot of potential for a young talent. Only 19, like you had said, and he's got plenty of tools.
Yeah, one of the youngest players in this league, and although he got off to a slow start, that bat has been scorching hot the past couple of weeks. As stepping in now is Garrett Ostrander watching ball 1.
Ostrander's been a day 1 opponent for this Miners Bucs matchup, making a leadoff appearance the first time these teams played.
This ball's hit in the air to right field, but Nunez settles under it as he moves back a couple of steps, so the Bucs get a man all the way to third base on a debatable call on a fly ball to center field, but no damage.
So the Miners going to be looking to add on to their early lead here. Only 4-0 through 2 innings, and they're going to be looking for some more insurance.
We'll see Nick Sorelli, Tyler Rando, Casey Rother, 3, 4, 5 in the minor order. Coming up as we go to the 3rd inning. We'll be back in just a few moments from Mulcahy Stadium. We start the 3rd inning. Nick Sorelli, who drew a 4-pitch walk his first time to the plate, will get an opportunity now.
Sorelli, one of those runs brought around with that grand slam from Casey Rother in the 1st inning. So looking to get on again and hoping that he can have his teammates push him around the bags.
Sorelli, left-handed batter, took his 22nd walk last time. As he stands in now and watches a pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Back out on the mound for the Anchorage Bucs is Jacob Rutherford. He was able to get a 1-2-3 second after a ton of trouble in the 1st inning. Sorelli hailing from Martinez, California, as there's a ball just maybe a little bit low. 2-0 on Nick.
Well, Rutherford's really struggling to get these first pitch strikes, and with a batter as patient as Sorelli, it's going to be really difficult to work your way back.
Martinez sits right on the Suisun? I don't know how to pronounce that. Suisun Bay. I'm going to call it that anyway from the Bay Area. Please correct me if I'm wrong, as there's strike 1 to Sorelli.
3-1 count to St. John's product, looking to get aboard for his 2nd time via the walk.
Sorelli, remember, he's pitching on Saturday, so you're going to want to tune into that broadcast. As how about that? Nick Sorelli. Nobody will really throw him many strikes, just won that at bat as he takes his pass over to first. It's a leadoff walk.
It's okay, Sorelli. They're just scared of you.
Tyler Rando to the plate next. Another big guy, San Jose. Gonzaga University stands in. Rando had a super long at-bat his last time, and it ended up with him taking first base on a walk.
If he could get back-to-back walks, put Sorelli back in scoring position, I think that would take a lot of air out of the sails of Rutherford as this one gets away.
Carrick tried to block it in front of him. Instead, it's going to skip up the third baseline into foul ground. So moving up the second easily is Nick Sorelli, and Tyler Rando, who, as we all know, has been knocking in runs at a crazy rate recently, has a runner at second and nobody out.
Forget about the walk to advance the runner. He did it all on one pitch. Like you said, a chance to extend their lead here.
Counts it to 1-0 on Tyler Rando. As he watches a breaking ball way outside, and it's 2-0. No action yet in the Bucs bullpen, but if Rando can reach here, you got to think that action could start soon. 2-0 on Ty. As he swings and lines this one right at the shortstop Donahue. That ball was hit right on the screws, but directly at Kyson Donahue for the first out.
And while that was unfortunate for the Miners, a great amount of contact, great amount of exit velo right into the glove. I do like just how situationally aware Sorelli was. He was following that play from the start and made sure to get back to the bag immediately.
That ball was smoked. And although Rando's out there, I mean, you can't say that was a bad at-bat, getting ahead 2 balls and then absolutely scalding one. More times than not, that ball is going to find a hole. As Casey Rother, who hit that grand slam back in the first inning, stands in and watches ball 1.
It's hard to follow up the bases unloading on one swing of the bat, but hoping to add on to his own big day.
1-0 pitch is in the dirt. Carrick this time with a really good scoop on a short hop, able to grab that one, and it's 2-0 on Rother. We haven't seen a multi-home run game by a Miner yet this year, but Casey Rother is going to have a number of at-bats this year to try to become the first. As Rother, 2-0 pitch swinging, change up away, strike 1.
Rother once again trying to unload the base runner, Nick Sorelli from second. Sorelli, while he can hustle, he doesn't have the speed as plenty of other teammates, so gonna need a good shot.
As this ball's in the dirt, Carrick, another good stop, and he's gonna throw it out to second. Sorelli back in standing up as Pinales received that throw, no damage, and it's 3-1 on the Tamaqua, Pennsylvania native, Casey Rother. Looking to find a hole in the defense here. He'll take an RBI even if it isn't by the home run. 3-1. Here it is. As he swings and pops it up. This will be playable in foul ground. Carrick with the mask off, but calling him off is Jake Skipworth, the first baseman, who will make the grab. So Rother pops out, and now it's 2 away for the Miners.
Still have one more chance, and somebody who also got a base hit in his first time up, Aaron Walters. He got that screaming single right after Rother's grand slam. So not as festive and explosive as a home run, but one that could easily score Sorelli right now.
Walters able to reach base last time, as you said. He's in now. They're on second, 2 away. The first pitch here is swung on in a screamer into the seats. Foul ball. Strike 1.
Yeah, heads up, Dad. Bubba Walters, first base coach, standing over there. Gets a little present from his son.
I'd like to congratulate Bubba Walters, who a couple weeks ago actually retired from teaching and I believe coaching as well in the Texas high school ranks. So he's up here to coach his son. This is good experience for both of them.
Aaron, one of few players that's actually been with the Miners for other seasons on their 2018 and 19 roster.
Is the only man on this roster who has won an ABL championship as he watches ball 1 there. And Obviously, sitting at 21-8 right now in the season, I think you can say the expectation is another title.
Absolutely. You have to hold them to everything they've proven so far this year. If they're going to keep standing at the top, no reason they can't shoot for the ring.
Walters looking in as he watches a pitch a little bit low, 2-1.
Walters trying to give himself the most favorable count he can, as Rutherford hasn't been extremely accurate, to put it lightly.
Looks like maybe a youth baseball practice of some sort in the background. There's a bunch of fields, a quad complex of Little League and Adult League baseball fields outside the fence as Walters hits this one pretty deep center field, but plenty of room out there for Garrett Ostrander. He'll squeeze it, and the Miners strand Sorelli out at second.
So Sorelli able to get on for the second time, but unable to be brought home. We still have no change in score from the top of the first as we get ready for the bottom of the third. Still 4-0 Miners.
So the Clearwater, Florida native, Michael Paul, heading back out for his third inning of work. We'll take a brief break here from Mulcahy Stadium, and we'll be back in just a few moments.
The third for the Bucs.
We start the bottom of the third here in downtown Anchorage. Javier Pinales, the 9-hitter in the Buck order, will be the first to the plate. He stands in now and watches a called ball one. Pinales on the year has been struggling at the plate. Just 6 of 50, 120 average. As he swings here and hits this one pretty deep right field on the run. Going back is Wilson. He'll track it down in right center field. So the ball really not carrying like it is to left field. Ball kind of died a little bit out there. Wilson will arrange in the gap to make the catch. And that's a 2-pitch out for Michael Paul.
I thought you were about to announcer's jinx a 120 batter into his first home run of the
That ball
season.
was hit hard.
Luckily for the Miners, got more vertical action than anything deep.
Cole Carrick stepping to the plate now as he swings and fouls that pitch off. So it'll be strike one. Carrick back in the first hit that hot shot grounder that David Bermudez made a diving slash sliding. I don't know what you would call it technically, but a really good play nonetheless at shortstop. But the throw to first was just late, so he legged out the infield hit. As he swings 0-1 here, and it's a routine grounder over to second. Up with it is Holden Breeze. He'll go to first, and that's a 4-3 ground out. Michael Paul with a quick couple of outs here in the bottom of the third.
Well, Bermudez's middle infield partner, Holden Breeze, able to get revenge for him there. 2 quick outs, and the Miners looking to make it a relatively quick third.
In MLB news today, guess you can say maybe the trade deadline starting a little bit early. Your Chicago Cubs traded Jack Peterson to the Atlanta Braves for Bryce Ball, who played at Dallas Baptist University, so former alum of DBU, a couple of Dallas Baptist guys on this Anchorage Buck roster.
I think if you look back 2 or 3 years ago, seeing Peterson on the move would be a big move, but the way he's performed this year, I'm not so sure that's even much of a major name off the market.
He's got a 770 OPS, which is a little bit above average, but his defense has been a little bit down, so snagging Atlanta's number 12 prospect in return were the Cubs, as this pitch is swung on, hit in the left field, drifting back a little bit, Walters, but he's got plenty of room. He'll settle under it, so Michael Paul just getting it done out there on the mound.
And it does seem like the Bucs are at least getting better contact than the Miners. Besides that one Casey Rother bomb, the Miners haven't been able to put together a whole lot of small hits.
We'll look to do so as we start the fourth. Coming to the plate for the Miners will be Nunez, Thompson, and then David Bermudez. So we'll take a short break here from Anchorage. We'll be back. It's 4-0 Miners as we end the bottom of the third inning. Stay tuned. We begin the top of the fourth with a PSA from the Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver Alaska. The Alaska Railroad would like to remind our friends and neighbors, wherever you see railroad tracks, always expect a train. Stay safer on trains and tracks. Look, listen, and live. As Ricky Nunez, who struck out looking back in the first inning, will be the first to the plate for the Miners. Watching ball one there.
And Ricky's becoming a more everyday player for this Miners rotation. Whether that be from injuries or just pure reliability, he's really worked his spot.
As he swings and misses through an off-speed pitch, Rutherford back out there for inning number 4. He's really settled in with a couple of scoreless innings. No hits allowed since that Rother home run back in the first. Nunez in an even count here. Check swing and a ball up and in. Kind of a half swing, realizing how in it was, but he fouls it off. Back up to the press box, 1-2.
It was a cool trick shot. That half swing off the top bar of the back screen.
Able to ricochet down to the Buck dugout. 1-2 on Nunez. As he looks in, here it is. And it's way up, taking all the way, 2-2.
One thing you mentioned during the break, no arms still warming up in the Bucs bullpen despite the struggles of Rutherford through the first 3 innings. Maybe just can't afford to use too many arms today.
Rutherford working down a 2-2 count as he delivers, and it's upstairs, so Nunez now way ahead. Count goes to 3-2. It's already been 3 walks on the tally of Jacob Rutherford as Nunez works for a possible 4th.
This could be big to turn this entire at-bat around.
As he swings here and grounds it over to short. Donahue up with it. One slick motion to Jake Skipworth. That's a 6-3 ground out. 1 away in the minor 4th.
Well, I understand it was routine, but like you said, that was a really fluid throw in motion from Donahue.
Donahue, we saw him at second base yesterday. Over at shortstop today. Got out of the minors, where as well we saw David Bermudez at second yesterday. Back over at shortstop today. Sliding back to second is Holden Breeze. New second baseman for the Bucs today, though, is Xavier Pinales. Sam Thompson watching that pitch upstairs. And he's ahead in the count, 1-0.
Cam Thompson, also known to crush a few wiffle balls in the summer clinic this morning.
Yeah, he was hitting them all over the yard as he grounds a weak grounder over to second base. Pinales up. He'll go to Skipworth. 2 groundouts for the Miners to start the 4th.
Well, it seems like we're having a bit of a repeat of yesterday's performance. Early fireworks and slowed down momentum since then. The Miners are going to be looking to bounce back.
4 runs yesterday, though, would have been enough in a 5-3 win. Certainly you'd like more runs, but 4 in the first is a very good stake as Bermudez grounds it over to third. Baquero taking on the long hop. He'll go to first, and that's 3 groundouts. 1 to third, 1 to short, 1 to second. That'll move things to the middle of the 4th.
Well, Miners going to have to look to get underneath these balls a little bit. 3 groundouts in the inning, definitely not the kind of pattern you want to fall into as a team.
Before we go to break, we'd like to give a shout out to the sponsor of the 2021 Matsu Miners Summer Clinic, which continues through tomorrow. Last day tomorrow, 9 to 12:30, is the Alaska USA Federal Credit Union. So we'll leave it there as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Coming up for the Bucs to the plate will be more Baquero Rocafort, and we'll be back here from Mulcahy in just a few moments. Actually have a correction as we start the bottom of the 4th. It is Skipworth more Baquero, 3-4-5 in the order to the plate. Skipworth's first trip to the plate produced a strikeout. He stands in now. First pitch from Michael Paul, who's back out for the 4th inning, is a strike, and a generous strike at that.
Well, I think we're seeing the dominant side of the home plate umpire seeming to favor the right side especially.
As this ball's hit back up the middle, backhand by Holden Breeze to first in time. How about that? The newcomer showing some range back up the middle, Holden Breeze. He's really impressed people around the Matsu Valley as he's able to make that play for out number 1.
I sincerely cannot believe Holden Breeze was not playing summer ball before he came up here.
It's crazy to me that he was not playing anywhere. I mean, he's came in immediately with Morozic hurt and Jordan Williams being out for the year, J.D. Urso being out for the year. I mean, it has been such a surprise to see how well Holden Breeze has played so far.
You can say he's definitely finding his home with the Miners, filling every need they have for hitting, for fielding. He's just doing everything right.
The redshirt sophomore, got the red shirt during the COVID year in 2020, back at South Mountain Community College next spring. As this ball's barreled into right field, Nunez coming on, he won't get it. It'll drop just in front of him. It's a 1-out single for Cole Moore as he goes to right field, and with 1 on, 1 out, Diego Baquero.
And it's a small thing I noticed, but I do want to appreciate Ricky Nunez trying to not lay out and make that grab. We saw Tyler Wilson try to get one in center field the other day. That led to a triple. Ricky just wants to keep the damage to a minimum of a single.
Yeah, that the other day did turn out to obviously be the triple, and Nunez playing it safe there. Obviously up 4-0. You don't want to make any mistakes to give the Bucs life. As this ball's hit into left center field, Wilson coming on. He won't get it. It'll drop in front of him. It's a kind of hard hit single into left center field. Wilson was shaded that way, but it was way in front of him. And now 2 on, just 1 out, and coming to the plate, Carson Rocafort.
But you have to make sure you score it as a kind of hard hit single.
Yeah, I mean, the ball off the bat sounded a lot harder than where it actually went, as it landed about 20 feet in front of Wilson, left center. You can see Wilson kind of shading his eyes from the sun coming on as this ball's rocketed into left center field. It's dropping in front of Wilson. He's up with the throw. It's cut off by Sorelli, runner holding at third. So how about that? In the matter of just 3 pitches, the Anchorage Bucs have loaded the bases with 3 singles.
So we only have the 1 out so far, and he's going to be visited on the mound. Not surprising after you said 3 consecutive pitches allowing runners on. You're going to have to take a breath off the mound for a second.
The Bucs really swinging it here in the bottom of the 4th as 1 out, meeting at the mound, whole infield, and assistant coach Bubba Walters out to the mound to talk with Michael Paul. And all of a sudden, Kyson Donahue represents the tying run at the plate.
Well, this is finally looking like the Bucs roster that's leading the ABL in hits. But when it came into this series, into Mulcahy, their offense just hasn't shown up besides sporadic moments here and there. Right now, they're stringing together 3 consecutive hits with a chance to fight their way back into this game.
Speeding is a triple play. It increases the likelihood of crashing, reduces the amount of available time to avoid a crash, and increases the severity of a crash if it happens. Speeding is also a choice that a driver has full control over. Choose to not speed. Stop speeding before it stops you. This message is brought to you by the Alaska Highway Safety Office. Kyson Donahue, now with the Bucs' best opportunity all day to score runs in bunches. He's got the bases loaded with just 1 out. He watches a fastball, a little low there, ball 1.
If you're Kyson Donahue, you might not try and work your way across. Obviously, your team's swinging the wood well, but if you could walk a run across, that's just as good as a hit.
There's ball 2, and ball has fallen behind Donahue. Nowhere to put him, 2-0.
At risk of losing his shutout here.
He winds on 2-0. Here it is. Gets it over, and it's popped up into foul ground. Roth arranging over, but it's just going to get back out of play. So foul ball, 2-1. Paul gets over a strike.
Donahue, big situational at-bat here. You want to make something happen, but can't force it into play.
A raging Cajun, Garrett Ostrander, stands on deck. Kyson Donahue, an Arizona Wildcat at the plate. 2-1 pitch is swung on, hit in the air, right center field. This ball is deep. Nunez still going, and it's going to get to the wall. Wilson up with it. 1 run around. Here comes the second one. The trail runner coming, and it is a bases clearing double for Kyson Donahue. They finally get to Michael Paul, and all of a sudden, it's a 4-3 game here in the 4th.
Well, things went from bad to worse. It was a 4-run game. Now only down 2. Just a 1-run difference.
The runner on second, center fielder number 5, Garrett Ostrander.
Ostrander comes to the plate looking to continue the party. It's been 4 straight hits, all after a hard hit out that Holden Breeze made a nice play on. They are really tattooing Michael Paul here in the 4th.
Definitely seemed to pick up on his off-speed stuff that he generally uses to make fun of batters, just play with them. But right now, he's the one that's on the receiving end of it.
Paul trying to at least strain that tying runner out at second base with 1 out. He deals here. Off the plate, 2-0, and now it looks like Daniel Naughton has started walking down to the minor pen. Looks like Michael Paul all of a sudden could be in jeopardy of being removed from this game.
So maybe we are going to get the Zags matchup that I had mentioned before.
Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and fouled back out of play, so 2-1. On the batter at the plate, Garrett Ostrander standing on deck. It's Xavier Pinales.
Ostrander and Pinales, 2 batters that are really struggling at the plate as of recent, but all it takes is 1 good swing of the bat, and it's a tie ball game.
And the Peninsula Oilers have started to break it open as that pitch misses. Ball 3. It was 10-2 Oilers in the 6th. Leo Harris of the Chinooks hit a 3-run home run to make it 10-5. in the top of the 6th in Kenai as the Oilers look for win number 3 in a row. That'd be their longest winning streak this year as swinging and missing through a 3-1 fastball to Ostrander. It's going to be 3-2.
Oilers coming alive as of recently. Miners just looking to continue their sustained success. While it's not likely that they'll win forever, they are winning more games than not.
As that ball is fouled off the mitt of Sam Thompson, unable to squeeze it, 3-2.
A punch out here could be a really big momentum stalling moment for the Miners.
No throwing yet in the minor pen, but there's multiple guys down there walking around, so you got to think the throwing could start soon. 3-2 on the batter at the plate, Ostrander. Ball from the stretch, swung on and popped up down the right field line, and that's going to get back out of play. So Ostrander continues the bat. 7 pitches so far to him. 4-3 Miners with 1 out here in the 4th. Miners got 4 in the 1st, but the Bucs have struck back in a big way with 3 runs and counting here in the 4th. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball upstairs. Paul loses him. It's an 8-pitch walk for Garrett Ostrander. And Michael Paul's nightmare 4th inning continues.
Not getting any easier for him. And doesn't look like he's going to be relieved of his duties anytime soon unless we have catastrophe strike.
No throwing down the minor pen yet. Interestingly enough, I mean, it's been 5 straight runners to base. 3 singles, a double, and a walk. Now first and second, still only 1 out. And swearing to bunt is Pinales, but it goes foul. Into the on-deck circle, Cole Carrick snags it on a couple of hops. It's going to be 0-1.
One thing's for sure, Casey Rother over at third just woke up a little bit. His ears have to be perked after seeing him square up.
Paul desperately needs an out here, as there's a fastball strike 2 at the knees, so now way in the driver's seat. He's got a prime opportunity to get a punch out or maybe some weak contact. Miners could certainly use a double play ball to get him out of the 4th.
First time he's been in the lead this inning, it feels like.
Paul sets the 0-2, and it just missed off the edge. Maybe a bit high. 1-2 on Pinales.
Paul does have the double play ball in effect should he put something on the ground, but just trying to get 1 out at a time.
Grounder down to Sorelli. He'll go to Bermudez at second. Paul covering first did not get over there in time. Even if he was, I think Pinales, who runs really well up the line, would have made it. So it's going to go down as a fielder's choice. It'll go 1-6, or rather 3-6 on the fielder's choice. And now Cole Carrick, runners at the corners, Bucs down a run, 2 away.
Miners, it feels like taking the most grueling way to get to 3 outs they can, as each one of these is hard earned.
Carrick steps in. Round out to second base his last time through. Paul trying to strand a couple of runners. First pitch to Carrick is in the dirt. Thompson gets in front of it to block it. It's ball 1. Carrick, another guy who just finished his freshman year at San Diego State University. It's a younger Bucs roster. They've got a lot of big school talent, but not a lot of older guys on the team, as there's ball 2. Carrick way ahead now, 2-0. Still no throwing in minor pen. I mean, there's guys moving around, but no actual throwing, so we'll see how long the leash is for Michael Paul.
Carrick yesterday picked up a hit and a walk to go with 1 on RBI.
As Carrick here watches a pitch just low, and it's 3-0. Walk would load up the bases for Jack Macdoff on deck.
If you're Michael Paul, you must feel like everything's against you. Can't get any call to go his way.
The 8th batter of this inning has a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike at the knees, so able to get one over. Carrick taking 3-1.
finally, says Michael Paul. Able to work his way into the strike zone.
2-0 pitch was close, but he was unable to get the call as the 3-1 pitch is swung on, and that might be the best pitch Cole Carrick will see. It was an elevated fastball, but only able to foul it away. Going down the third baseline. A little bit late. 3-2.
Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly where Paul wanted to put it. It's not too often you get a high elevated fastball for a swinger like Carrick.
3-2. For all the marbles, here it is as it's grounded foul. Up the first base line, Pinales, obviously, in a 3-2 count with 2 outs, taking off from first. No movement. Down at third from Donahue, as the only base he has to reach is home. We did see Cole Carrick steal home yesterday, so probably not going to happen, but it is possible. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, maybe a broken bat, grounded over to second. Holden Breeze up with it. He goes to Sorelli, and Michael Paul ends up stranding a couple of runners.
Well, they managed to keep their lead, but only by 1 run. And now the team is really going to have to put some runs back on the board. I have to say this, the Miners may be leading, but their momentum is not the greater of the two.
It'll be the top of the order to start the 5th for the Miners. Breeze, Wilson, Sorelli. As for us, we'll take a short break here from Mulcahy. Stay tuned. We begin the 5th. Holden Breeze, the second baseman, coming to the plate. Breeze on the day. 1-for-2 line. He steps in right now.
They're going to need to treat this almost like they're restarting this game. Can't keep your eyes on the scoreboard as they really need to regain some control.
Breeze swinging through that first pitch, and it's still Jacob Rutherford. Why not? Ever since that first inning where he gave up 4 runs, he's pitched 3 scoreless.
Ever since his single to Aaron Walters, honestly, I'd say this has been a great game, but this one's getting down.
That Holden Breeze does nothing but hit the baseball. Another multi-hit game for him, going right back up the middle. This kid's barreling balls at a pretty much insane rate right now.
Well, not going to be a long ball or extra base hit, but no one is ever going to complain about you putting the ball in play.
Tyler Wilson now to the plate as he looks over at the dugout for maybe a signal. 1 on, not out, here in the minor 5th.
Wilson got on with the fielder's choice. No hits so far in the game today.
As there's a snap throw over to first, back safely is Holden Breeze. On the year at Grand Canyon, Tyler Wilson hit 320, 386, 360 for the slash line, and 100 at-bats. Played virtually every position for the Grand Canyon Lopes. As the first pitch to Wilson is low, ball 1.
Not surprised surprised to see him all over the field. Miners have used him in a variety of ways as well, even using him in the middle infield at one point.
Played him at second base in the game against the Anchorage, or I guess you could say the Valley Legion All-Stars. Team comprised of Palmer and Musillo, American Legion players. As check swing, did Tyler Wilson go around? No, he did not. Pitch was in the dirt. 2-0 on Tyler Wilson.
It's been a good week for Wilson walking as well. Second on the team in walks, only behind Nick Sorelli. Had 3 in the last 7 days.
Bucs trying to end a slide of a nightmare. As the 2-0 pitch is taken low, and Tyler Wilson is 1 pitch away from making it first and second and none out. Wilson, a productive hitter as of late, as we've said, and he has a chance to reach. As there's ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk. Walk number 5 of the game for Jacob Rutherford, as now he's in a first and second situation with nobody out.
Well, this is the risk they ran with putting him back on the mound. Obviously, he was looking well through the first couple innings after the grand slam. Now, back to his old state. Are we going to see him load him back up with another walk for Sorelli, who's already been on twice on balls?
2 walks for Sorelli, who walks at a better rate than anybody in the ABL. Obviously, as we said so many times, he's got 23 walks on the year now.
I also want to say the Jeopardy music that plays during the mound meetings is an excellent choice.
Like that music. 2 on, none out. Sorelli's got a big hole back up the middle if he wants it. Squaring the butt here, and it's going to go foul up the third base line. He's a little bit upset with himself after that. Thought he maybe could have got that down. Instead, it's going to be 0-1. Don't really see him square the butt too much. Tried yesterday, but it went foul.
And the biggest reason for that is you can see the shift they had against Sorelli yesterday. Third baseman Diego Baquero was more than about 10 or 15 feet from the third base bag. And he was telling me before the game, I want to keep aiming down that line if they're going to keep shifting at me. I'll hit it where the shift isn't. So he's got a real Pete Rose mindset going into that.
He gets this one down up the third base line. The only play is going to be to first. Sorelli is retired, but he does his job. It's a sac bunt for Nick Sorelli. And now out of the dugout are a few Miners to greet him as he heads back to the dugout. Now he's moved up the runners to second and third with 1 out.
On a noble cause for Nick Sorelli, offering up his out for the runners to advance. And it's going to be Tyler Rando back up to the dish.
0-for-1 for Rando with the walk. Last time up, he scalded a ball, but it went right to Kyson Donahue. Interestingly enough, it's only corners in with 1 out. Runners on second and third. You might have thought to see the infield in as this ball is below the wickets of Carrick, and it's not going to matter. Coming home to score is Holden Breeze, and the Miners take a 5-3 lead here in the 5th.
One thing interesting about Holden Breeze, while plenty of the Miners have been stranded on the bases this year, he seems to come across pretty frequently when he's put on.
Breeze coming in to score that run. 5-3 is Rando, who obviously has a ton of RBIs, like we said earlier, 15 on the year. In just 64 at-bats, stands back in. There's ball 2. Out of the catcher position, maybe a snap throw, but he faked it, was Cole Carrick, 2-0. 2-0 count, now the infield is in. Here it is. As it swung on and hit foul down the right field line. Back to that number on RBIs with Rando. Obviously just 64 at-bats. He's averaging almost an RBI every 4 at-bats. So clearly able to knock in runs for this club. Rutherford sets the 2-1, and it's upstairs. There is a base open as it's 3-1. Still no throwing in the Buck bullpen. I mean, gotta think their bullpen might be overworked. That could be the reasoning for it. As Rutherford's in danger of giving up his 6th walk of the night.
6 walk and 6 run, whether or not they're earned, but
there is walk number 6. It's inside Tyler Rando. His 2nd walk of the day for the catchers, 12th of the year, and now Casey Rother, who popped out his last time, but we all remember his first at bat where he went deep to left center field for a grand slam. Will step in with another good chance. First and third, one out.
If you're Casey Rother, you got to be pretty confident. You're going up against a pitcher with a batting average against of .447. You already have a grand slam on the day, and you got runners at the corners with one out. There can't be much better situations for an offensive player.
As he watches a pitch up there, ball one, infield playing back. I mean, anything on the ground that Rother can beat to first, they will concede the run. And back to Martin Felsfeld. I believe this is actually the only baseball game going on. Obviously, other summer collegiate leagues. I believe summer collegiate is the highest level of baseball playing today. This is also probably the latest game, along with the Chugiak-Kenai Peninsula game. As Rother stands in. Open stance, here it is, as he swings and fouls this one off. So Rother down a couple of strikes.
Rother looking to generate some kind of spark here. Obviously, Miners scoring on that wild pitch, only the third wild pitch of Rutherford's season so far. The two of those have come in this game.
Rother standing in at 6'5", 230. He waits on the pitch, and it's upstairs. Rother taking. Walters sits on deck. He already has a hit today. They'd love for Casey Rother to produce for him right now. Already one run in, first and third. 2 strikes on Rother. As he swings and grounds this one left side, base hit. In to score is the runner Tyler Wilson, and make it 6-3. Casey Rother continues his huge day. It's 5 ribbies for the big man. The Miners take a 3-run lead.
And you could see him give a point and look at Christian Steelhorse coming out of the dugout as well. Probably promised him an RBI on that one. Always love to deliver for your squad.
Tyler Rando, coming into second base, had a bit of a playful hug with Xavier Pinales, who plays at Olney College, a JUCO in Illinois, but he'll be transferring to Gonzaga next year, so he'll be teammates with Pinales. As Walters to the plate now, gives this one a crack, pretty deep center field on the run. Ostrander, he'll get it in deep center, able to move up to third easy as Rando. There's a ton of room out there in center field, and Walters nearly got it over the head of Ostrander.
I just want to comment on the style points for that slide by Tyler Rando.
Pretty good slide.
Had a nice build-up and then just gave out all into that side slide.
So, first and third, Ricky Nunez with a chance now.
And gave up 3 runs previously, so responding with 2 in the top of the 5th. Miners nearly erasing the run comeback.
First and third, Nunez watches ball 1 up. Nunez ahead, 1-0.
Ricky had 1 strikeout earlier in the game, looking to turn on for his first hit in a big spot here.
He fouls that pitch back. Nunez in a even 1-1 count. Miners with 6 runs already today, trying to find a way to get in more. Tyler Rando sitting on third. We're at first base, Casey Rother. Nunez, the right fielder, back in. Swings here and pops this up into foul ground, and that'll drift back out of play. Nunez this year at Mount San Jacinto College due to COVID-19 guidelines in California. He didn't play as many games as maybe he would have liked, but he hit .426 with 5 home runs and 19 RBIs in his first 7 games at Mount San Jacinto. He stands in now, 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Rother taking off, going down to second base. The throw down there is a good one, and Rother is nabbed. So Nunez left back in the box as he'll kick off the 6th inning. Caught stealing Casey Rother to end the top of the 5th.
Yeah, it's not too often we see Rother go in motion, so Surprisingly aggressive bag running from the Miners comes back to end the inning, but they do manage to scratch 2 across.
We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Miners 6, Bucs 3. Like for all of you to stay tuned as we'll be back here from Anchorage in just a few moments.
Play at the 5th for the Bucs.
We start the bottom of the 5th. Michael Paul back out on the mound. He surrendered 3 on a bases clearing double by Kyson Donahue in the 4th, but back out for the 5th inning of work, looking for a clean inning that would put him in line for the win is Jake Skipworth. Or Jack Backtoff, rather, swinging through a first pitch fastball. Strike 1.
So we finally see some kind of movement in both bullpens too, as this one's hit right to center field.
Drifting back on it, Tyler Wilson. He'll range into left center field to make the catch. An easy can of corn for Tyler Wilson, although it was hit pretty deep. One out.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it does seem a bit odd to see both bullpens putting arms in now. Instead of during the innings that the 2 pitchers were struggling, so maybe a bit of a delay on both ends. Regardless, we finally have some up in action.
Paul trying to work as Skipworth stands in, right-handed batter from East Vale, California. As there's a strike, East Vale, California is located right near Riverside, where Ricky Nunez is from, so Southern California guy. As this pitch is swung on, hit into left field, and that's going to drop cleanly in front of Aaron Walters. It's a base hit with 1 out, so Jake Skipworth back to base as Cole Moore is next in the order.
1 on and 1 out. That brings up DH number 33.
Cole Moore next up to the plate after a single from Jake Skipworth. Skipworth obviously had the strikeout swinging earlier in the game, so finally found the one he was looking for.
Skipworth, 1 on, 1 out. Paul hasn't been able to roll up a double play ball tonight, but he'd love one here.
I'm sure he would.
As the first pitch is off the plate, ball 1. Still very sunny here at Mulcahy. It's been a sunny night game. This is actually our last 7 p.m. game going forward. Remember, the games will start at 6 p.m. So remember that for future broadcasts, as that ball is just off the plate, ball 2.
Cole Moore right now, in the last 9 at-bats, has 2 hits and 2 walks. So getting aboard plenty, even with a minimal batting average.
As the 1-1 pitch is swung on, hit up in the air, but not deep. Center fielder Wilson barely had to move. He's got it 2 away.
Both of these pitchers seem to settle into their fly-out routine. They're really showing off the adaptability of their defense right now.
I'd like to give a reminder, the Miners' next home game comes on Saturday against the Anchorage Adult League All-Stars. It's a non-league game starting at 6 p.m. There will be a wheelbarrow of booze raffle tickets and a 2019 championship quilt ticket giveaway at the Beer Shack at Herman Brothers Field. As standing in now, Diego Vaquero as he watches ball 1-0 on the Mission Hills, California product.
So Miners reclaimed 2 of their runs in the top of this inning. Slamming the door on the bottom end of the 5th would be a major statement before Paul leaves this game.
Pitch is low and outside in the dirt, but Thompson blocks it, not even thinking about running. Off of first base is Skipworth. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Miners lead 6-3. 4 in the 1st, 2 in the 5th, and just 3 in the 4th for the Bucs. As this pitch is swung on and tapped right off the foot of Paul. He'll go to first in time as he's hobbled off the mound. That ball hit him right, maybe not even the foot, maybe more the hamstring as he's really hobbled coming off the field. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe it's just a stinger. He'll come back to the dugout.
Well, I think regardless, whether that's innings pitched or the injury itself, that's likely going to be the end of the day for Michael Paul. But he has laughing it off with the trainer, so might just be a stinger or a bruise. Regardless, can't feel great.
Tyler Rando also out to check on him. And hopefully Paul is okay, but you got to think it might be a stinger coming back off the hamstring. So we'll head to the 6th. Miners 6, Bucs 3. We're going to have a new pitcher on as we begin the top of the 6th. We'll tell you about him when we come back here from Mulcahy. Alex Rios, a right-hander from Santa Clara University, on the mound as we begin the 6th. Rutherford's day is done. He lasts 5 innings, giving up 6 runs, all of which were earned, and he was really burned by that grand slam in the 1st.
Well, it's always hard to come back from even a single or 2-run home run. A grand slam in the first frame is going to really damage your reputation. But he did a good job working his way back, and now he hands it off to Rios, who is the only pitcher with the Bucs roster who had a higher ERA entering today than their starter Rutherford.
Yeah, Rios has had a tough go at it as he'll face the bottom of the order. Ricky Nunez, who was at the plate when Casey Rother was caught stealing to end the 5th, will be up to start the 6th. Yeah, Rios has really struggled on the year for this Bucs team. He's appeared in now 8 games as he works 0-1. And that pitch is a ball, so 1-1.
Allowed 13 runs in 8.1 innings pitched, so extreme struggles from him in such small outings.
1-1 pitch is inside, 2-1, but he does have some previous success. Back in high school, actually, Rios threw 2 no-hitters, so interestingly enough, he was able to get those done. And as a primary reliever out of Santa Clara, it's the situation he'll go into here. As Nunez fouls that pitch off and counts even up at 2-2.
A little bit of California clashing going on right now. But then again, I guess we could say that for most anybody that steps up to the plate today.
Rios from Mountain Valley, California, which is right near Salinas, which is south of San Jose. As he stands here, 2-2 pitch, swung on and a tapper back towards the Buck dugout. Foul ball. It'll remain 2-2. Wind has stopped a little bit here at Mulcahy, not really blowing as much out towards left field as the flags. And straightaway left field beyond the fence have really stopped moving for the most part. 2-2 pitch, swung on, hit into right field, but ranging for the dive, Xavier Pinales able to come up with it on the dive, taking away a single from Ricky Nunez, 1 out.
Well, wasn't a laser shot by any means, but a weak line drive isn't easy to glove either. Ricky Nunez did a decent job there, but Pinales just made a great play.
Sam Thompson, catcher who's took the collar so far, 0 for 2, looking for his first hit here. Standing in from the right-hander's batter's box as Rios delivers, and this first pitch is popped up into foul ground, but that's going to go well out of play.
Sam Thompson, somebody who, similar to David Bermuda, has put really good contact on the ball all year, but doesn't have the numbers to show for it that he would like.
Appears Lance Santerre, a left-hander for the Miners, is down throwing in the bullpen. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Thompson behind 0-2. His last at-bat, he grounded out weakly to second base.
You do see Michael Paul slowly walking down the line towards the Miners' dugout, so less hobbled, but likely that his day is done on the mound.
As Thompson, 0-2, able to hang around, fouls that pitch off. Yeah, Paul, even before he was hit by that hard ground ball back up the middle, his day was probably going to be over. And that hit off his leg, you certainly don't want to risk anything. But hoping he's all right. He will be in line for the win. 2-1 record. The Miners can hold on to this advantage. Thompson, 0-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up. Foul. That'll get back out of play.
Well, that one just went straight up and nowhere else, became a UFO.
Rios, who, like you said, has had a ton of struggle thus far, but working to maybe lower that ERA as he's already 1 out in. 0-2. Here it comes. Swung on and hit hard but foul down the third baseline. So Thompson with a good battle with foul ball after foul ball. And count remain 0-2 once again.
Maybe Thompson realizes that Rios is trying to deal through the inning with that 14 inflated ERA, and he's not having any of it.
Rios sets now, here it comes, and it's a swing and a miss. Actually, no, a foul tip. Thompson just got a piece of that. He will continue to battle 0-2 once again. One good thing for Rios in 8.1 innings, he does have 11 strikeouts. Also has a win to his name on the year.
It's pretty much a give and take. You can get the strikeout at the cost of some good runs on fastballs. Just have to understand what you're getting with a power pitcher like Rios.
And to Martin Felsenfeld, who commented it's probably low 60s. Actually, no, it's pretty warm today. It got up to the low 70s, touching 74, I believe, as Thompson watches the first ball of the count 1-2. It got up to 74. It was really warm today in the Valley. It's a little cooler in Anchorage, probably around anywhere from 66 to maybe 70 degrees right now.
Let's just say it's not jeans weather, and as someone wearing jeans, it's not the kind of weather I need to be in.
Thank goodness I wore shorts. I feel really good right now, actually. 1-2 as Thompson watches the ball low, and no, it's a called strike 3. How about that? That pitch looked well low. Thompson thought so too. Instead, he's going back to the dugout. His second strikeout of the day, and now it's David Bermudez.
Well, not the way you expect it to be put down. And now David Bermudez looking to not become the third part of a 1-2-3 inning.
Bermudez, the shortstop, in. 2 outs. 0 for 2 on the day. as he watches the first pitch fall low. Bermudez plays great shortstop. Obviously, no more for his glove than the bat. He's a very good defensive player and really has helped stabilize the minor infield, which dealt with a lot of errors earlier in this season. As this ball is grounded slowly out to short, up with it is the shortstop Donahue. He'll go to first, and it's a 1-2-3-6 for the Miners.
Well, Miners tried to attack on nearly every single pitch and weren't able to create any kind of offense off of an arm that looked like it might have generated some real runs.
So we'll head to the bottom of the sixth. A potential new arm for the Miners. We'll see as we come back in just a few moments from Anchorage. It is Michael Paul back out for the sixth inning, so evidently he must have said something to Tyler LeBrun that gave him confidence to send him back out there. He's given up 3 runs so far through 5 innings. Obviously took that grounder off the leg to end the 5th, but appears to be okay. As Carson Rocafort coming to the plate next. Rocafort, the lefty, Raging Cajun, Louisiana Lafayette, watches strike one there called.
Well, it was his plant foot or hamstring that took the brunt of the contact, so 1 strike already. He seems to be good.
As this pitch is fouled back out of play. Paul started the game out with a bunch of strikeouts, 2 in the first inning, but his numbers have dwindled in that category. He's got a chance here right now, though, for a quality start if he can get through this inning with no runs.
Already in line for the win, like you had mentioned.
As he gets a swing and a miss. Looked like a slider down swinging Rocaforte, who was tied and knocks 1 away.
Well, so far the decision to put him back on the mound looking pretty smart through 1 out. Tyson Donahue is going to put that theory to the test next.
Looks like any Little League or adult practices over there on the fields beyond the right field and center field fence have cooled off, so appears we're the only action right now in Anchorage. Only game in town. As standing in is Donahue. He watches a pitch outside, ball 1.
Michael Paul, a big part of why he might be back out there is his own desire to return to the mound. You saw him talking to the trainer, so splitting off bats is just part of his agenda today.
That ball absolutely took off a piece of the bat right around the barrel. Chipped about maybe a 1/5 of the barrel off, so instead of swinging that paddle, getting a new bat is going to be Kyson Donahue, who used that bat last time to clear the bases. He had a bases clearing 3-run double. Represented all 3 of the Bucs runs on the scoreboard. That was back in the 4th inning.
Paul already took 1 bat. Let's see if he can take his dignity too.
Breaking ball way up high, ball 2. I'd like to give a shout out to the official sponsor of Matsu Miners Travel, Alaska Airlines. Paul winds and deals here as it's a fastball low, 3-1 on Kyson Donahue.
Well, I think Sam Thompson's doing a good job framing behind the zone, but the home plate umpire is continuously fluctuating that strike zone.
3-1, here it is. As it swung on and fouled back to the screen, so it'll be full on Kyson Donahue.
Michael Paul looking for his second out here in the bottom of the sixth. We're slowly approaching the 2/3 mark of today's game at already an hour and 45 minutes.
Payoff pitch here is a swinging strike three. Michael Paul putting away Kyson Donahue. A couple of punch outs here to start the sixth, and now the last chance for the Bucs. Coming up, Garrett Ostrander, the center fielder.
Well, barring near implosion, Michael Paul has proved why he was the correct choice for this sixth inning.
Ostrander, another California kid, Cal Baptist University. So he stands in now. Ostrander settling in. First pitch, breaking ball, and that's a ball. So it's 1-0. He's from Rancho Bernardo, California, 5'11", 175. As there's a strike, slider, 1-1.
Ostrander so far in the game, only one walk, but was put out on a fly out his other time.
There's a ball to Ostrander, 2-1 on the Cal Baptist product. As he stands in now, he's got that, looks like the oven mitt type wrist guard for running bases in his back pocket. He's not going to be needing to use it yet, though, as he swings and misses there, and it's 2-2. Seen that oven mitt become fashionable in Major League Baseball lately. Guys like Billy Hamilton wearing it to maybe protect being from stepped on or a ball hitting it or something of that sort. As the 2-2 is off the plate, we'll go full once again.
Part of it also helps with their wrist. Whenever they're sliding into a bag, they might jam their wrist, but it adds some more resistance to that.
3-2. Michael Paul trying to punch out the side. As he peers in, long look. And now he'll step off before the pitch.
Pivotal at-bat here. Miners still leading with a double of their current score, but could start a rally at any point. Obviously, began that one with one out already.
3-2 pitch is just outside, so taking the walk, Garrett Ostrander. Next up to the plate, Xavier Pinales. Pinales, left-handed batter, standing in. Looks to maybe create some lightning here in the sixth. Michael Paul 1 out away from a quality start.
So far quiet on today's game, 0 for 2. Nothing to be talked about for Pinales.
As he watches that one low, I guess the only thing you could talk about is his second at-bat. He gave one a ride to, or actually his first at-bat, gave one a ride to deep right center field, but tracking it down was Tyler Wilson. 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled back out of play. Pinales even in the count. Give a shout out to the sponsor of 2021 Natsu Miners Baseball, Pacific Northwest Regional Council of Carpenters and Carpenters Union Local 1281. 2 outs, Paul setting. Here it comes. And it's inside, 2-1.
Well, making him work for the final out of this inning, we do still see Lance Santerre over in the bullpen. We're ready to make an adjustment. If the Pepsi bullpen's down to our left, is there a different soda for the right side?
You know, I don't think so. I think it's just a Pepsi bullpen for the Bucs, and swinging through that Pinales. Counts even up 2-2.
The Miners should make it the Sprite bullpen.
Yeah, just to spite them. Sprite's a Coca-Cola product too, so obviously.
Yeah, it still works.
Have the rivalry.
Great branding.
2-2 on Pinales. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, right center field. Nunez going back, Wilson coming over. Wilson will make the basket catch in deep right center field. Pinales gave another one a ride, but can't find a hole as the Miners get through the sixth unscathed.
Well, Miners got to be counting their blessings. That one, like you said, in 9 out of 10 times that might be coming down, but the speed of Nunez and Wilson out there in the outfield really keeping this game tight.
So we'll head to the 7th. Back out is Rios for his second inning of work. Miners 6, Bucs 3. We'll be back here in just a minute from Mulcahy Stadium. We start the top of the 7th, and it's Rios back on the mound as we begin with Holden Breeze. The plate as he watches ball 1. Breeze, another productive day at the yard. 2 for 3, couple of singles, scored a run as well. Scored 2 runs, actually. Scored his second one last time, coming around on a wild pitch. First time scored on Casey Rother home run. Actually, no, count that. Just 1 run scored. He was cut down on the fielder's choice, so my apologies on that. As he watches the ball there. Breeze has been a spark plug for this lineup. All 3 of his games have been played here in Anchorage. As he swings here and grounds this left side, Vaquero, diving stop, tries to pick it up, but it's not going to be in time to even warrant a throw. Vaquero on the dive. That one's going to likely go down as a base hit. And if so, it's a 3-hit day for Holden Breeze.
Well, he might not want to go play back at Herman Brothers the way he's been playing here. Already a chance for his 3rd in the game, and Holden Breeze is just making it look too easy.
Breeze over at first, none out. Tyler Wilson next to the plate.
See if these 2 leadoff men can get on for Nick Sorelli, who's in the on-deck circle currently.
Wilson swinging there. Strike 1 as he fouls it off.
There's another foul ball brought to you by Speedy Glass.
0-1 on Wilson. As the Miners look to tack on some insurance runs, up 3 here in the 7th.
Real chance to break the game open right now, and even more implications now that the game between Chugiak and Peninsula has seemingly come to a conclusion, and a tight one at that. A 10-9 ball game.
10-9 winners. The Peninsula Oilers with their longest winning streak of the year. They had previously not won back-to-back games all year. And now they have 3 in a row at home. So maybe that's all they needed was to go back home for a long homestand as pickoff throw back safely is Breeze.
So should the game end at the score it is right now, the Bucs and the Oilers only separated by a single game.
Now, if the Bucs were to lose, it'd be just that 1-game lead as there's a ball to Wilson. Anchorage Bucs haven't missed the playoffs in a number of years, but Peninsula, who was left for dead at the beginning of the month, has seemingly started to turn it around.
Reels ready to deal to Wilson again.
As Wilson swings, it's a slow chopper over to second. The only play is going to be to first. Pinellas with a little flip over to Skipworth. Be a fielder's choice. Breeze moves up to second with 1 out.
Holden Breeze still proving to be a pest on the base path. No chance at the double play with thanks to a nice leadoff.
Wilson busting it up the line as always. Nearly beat it out. Instead, he's out. Nick Sorelli, who's walked a couple of times today, will come to the plate.
Sorelli, 2 walks on the day, 1 run from those.
As there's a ball up high to Nick. It's 1-0. Can't overstate this enough. Make sure you come out to Herman Brothers Field on Saturday. You'll see the minor pitching debut of Nick Sorelli, who claims to possess a nice mix of pitches and can evidently get it up there on the radar gun. We'll see. Have to see for yourself.
If he breaks 80, I'm going to lose my mind.
As it goes 2-0. Yeah, I was telling him pregame
I want to see him break 85. That's all.
I would laugh pretty hard if one of the Anchorage Adult League All-Stars took him deep. That would be ironic.
Oh, I don't think Sorelli would handle that one too well.
Maybe a hit by pitch next at bat. As that ball is in the dirt, and it's another ball to Nick Sorelli.
Sorelli has had no issue taking a walk so far today. He and Rando, the only 2 minors with multiple walks to this point. And between Rando, Sorelli, and Wilson, that's all the walks the minors have. So.
And how about that? Give him 3.
These 3 batters, Tyler Wilson, Nick Sorelli, and Tyler Rando, have really accounted for most of the minors' offense thanks to Casey Rother drawing him in.
2, 3, 4 in the order, being productive as ever. And then Casey Rother, don't forget about him. He's got 5 RBIs as he stands in the on-deck circle. Tyler Rando to the plate. 2 on, 1 out. Rando, couple of walks today, like you said. 0 for 1 line.
Batting average now just a tick below 300, so he's having a productive year.
As he watches ball 1 low there. And it's 1-0 as Reelfs falls behind. Alex Reelfs, 6'5", 230. He's got a big frame. But can he pitch a big game as now he's in a tough spot as there's a strike to Rando. 1-1.
Rando doesn't seem to check swing himself too often, something I've noticed. Instead, he'll pick his arms up almost to not tempt himself to even offer at it.
It's a good strategy to avoid pitches that maybe you don't think you can drive. As he sits at an even count, and he drives this one over to short. Up with it is Donahue. He'll go to second to turn over to first in time. That's a 6-4-3 double play, and that'll end things here in the minor half of the 7th.
Well, minors trying to create and did apply some pressure, but now they're going to have to do the work again. See if they have a new arm coming out or if it's still more of the same. Looks like we do have someone running down from the quote-unquote second Pepsi bullpen, so we'll see a new arm.
So we'll head to stretch time here at Mulcahy. New arm on, and we'll take a short break here from Herman Brothers Field and be back in just a few moments. Daniel Nunn out of the minor pen. So it's not Santerre, it's the right-hander Nunn for the Miners as we begin things here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, if you're Naughton right now, not only do you have to show out for the Gonzaga guys on your team, but the ones on the other squad as well.
You'll get Cole Carrick in the top of the order. First up as Carrick fouls that pitch off down the left field line. On the air for Naughton. This will be his 6th game. He's appeared in only one other game out of the bullpen, making 4 starts, 21 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 23 hits and 6 walks. Has struck out 15. He's got a 4.15 ERA. As there's a called strike and it's 0-2 on Carrick.
Naughton looking to make quick work of this as well. 6 good innings from Michael Paul, only yielded 3 runs.
It was only that 4th inning that got to him, as that one is just off the plate for ball 1. Not in the Gonzaga Bulldog. It's a Gonzaga pitcher-catcher battery. Or would be a pitcher-catcher battery, I should say, if Tyler Rando was behind the plate. Sam Thompson still holding it down. He's done a good job down there tonight. As there's a breaking ball, called strike 3, backdoor slider, sent back to the dugout is Cole Carrick, 1 out, and we're going to get Jack Mactoff to the plate.
Well, Naughton isn't necessarily the strikeout machine that Beimel or Johnston is, but he does a good job of making sure to put the ball on the ground. There's not too many that are lifted on him. He does a good job of keeping everything in front of him.
He's got as good of fastball velocity as anyone on this club, as there's ball 1 just low. He'll run it up between 90 and 94 on the mound. 1-0 on Jack Mactoff, left fielder. And now it looks like maybe an issue between the home plate umpire and the Bucs dugout. Maybe some chirping going on, as an extended conversation between the home plate umpire and someone in the Bucs dugout.
Yeah, no one's really giving in on this encounter.
Thought maybe he was asking for more baseballs at first, but no, he was definitely talking to somebody in the Bucs dugout. As Mactoff swings here, line drive into left center field, just past David Bermudez. Thought he might be able to get to that, but it was just hit too hard. It's a 1-out single for Jack Mactoff.
Hard play for Bermudez. We've seen him make a jumping grab like that before, but you have to understand, people are only so tall. You can't necessarily do that every time.
1 on and 1 out. Jake Skipworth, the first baseman, standing in. In Winfield, playing for that double play, obviously. Casey Rother down at third is shading a little bit in. As that pitch is low, Thompson thought he had it, but I guess it slipped away from his glove some way or another as it gets back to the backstop. That's going to go down as a passed ball on Thompson. It's a ball and 1-0 count on Skipworth.
So, with that being a fast ball, Naughton still no wild pitches on this year. He's pretty controlled when it comes to that.
None. A 1-0 offering is way inside, and he's gone behind 2-0. There is a base open over at first, but he'd like to be able to get the batter at the plate, Skipworth.
One more thing about Daniel Naughton, also might be the biggest coffee drinker on this team, as I think I've seen him consume more cups of coffee than anybody else.
He loves those little, coffee shacks. I've never seen those before. It's 3-0 now on Skipworth. I've never seen those, coffee shacks before. Being from the Midwest, we really don't have.
They're in, the parking lot of every business.
Yeah, here, it's crazy. I've never seen so many of them.
People really love coffee up here.
4-pitch walk, though, for Jake Skipworth, and all of a sudden, the tying run to the plate. Cole Moore, who does have one against the Miners this year, is stepping in.
Cole Moore.
Meeting out at the mound before they're going to face Cole Moore as Bubba Walters out of the dugout. The infield converges on the mound for a meeting.
It's got to be something they're thinking about, especially with Moore coming up to the plate. Naughton's one of only 3 Miners pitchers that have allowed multiple home runs so far this year, so it's not something that's an impossible outcome.
Conference at the mound is over. Nunn will be the man they stick with as there's a right-hander throwing in the minor pen. Looks like James Aaron, who we haven't seen in quite some time. His last league game came on the Kenai trip back in the middle of June.
Definitely had plenty of time to recover in that term, but Aaron more worried about where his control would be after not seeing live bats for a while.
So we sit at 9:04 local time, just over 2 hours of gameplay. 2 on, 1 out here in the 7th. As taking there is Cole Moore, ball 1. Looks like some throwing as well in the Bucs bullpen. A right-hander down there getting loose. 1-0 on Cole Moore. Fastball, strike 1, hit the outside edge, and Nun's able to even it up.
I respect Naughton also choosing the red shoes when nobody else on the squad wears them, rarely representing his college with that Gonzaga red.
Walters has the Angelo State blue, though, out in left field as that pitch is fouled away. And the count now sits at 1-2 on Cole Moore. This would be a big punch out if Naughton can get more.
Work your way through one and leave one left.
Still very sunny here. It's sunny as it's been all day, even at 9:05 local time. No breaks in the sun today, no overcast. It's a nice little change, especially with the warmth as the pitch is off the plate. Nunn delivers a ball.
Well, that was just a good job by Moore to recognize the grip and saw that pitch from a mile away. He spit on that one and didn't even offer.
Moore back in. Nunn sets, he checks the runner, here it is. Swung on and grounded up the first baseline, but that's going to go foul. The runner over at first, Skipworth, doesn't run particularly well, and this could be a double play spot as Cole Moore is not the fastest either. Anything on the ground, the Miners could be able to turn two. Backed off of second. Skipworth off of first. We'll do it again. To Cole Moore, here it is. And he just missed off the edge, and it's gone full on Cole Moore.
Well, this is the last situation that Daniel Naughton wanted to set up. When he got ahead of this hitter, he thought he might have been able to get a punch out. Now he has to think about where to put this next pitch.
Setting. 3-2 pitch is off the plate, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with just 1 out.
Daniel Naughton putting ducks on the pond, and now the go-ahead run would be the one at the plate.
Diego Baquero, who's hit as well as anyone on this Anchorage Bucs team. 274. Got a couple of homers, 16 RBIs.
Pinch running for the Bucs.
We're going to need a pinch runner
Valley College and
for
Anchorage, Alaska.
Cole Moore.
Ricky Gatter.
Looks like Ricky Gatter, off the bench, an Alaska native from Skagit Valley College. Off to run for the runner Moore. Makes sense. It would be the tying run in the form of Gatter.
We might be needing to look out for the hit and run, especially if he's avoiding the double play ball.
There's ball 1 low and in. 1-0 on Diego Baquero as Naughton just needs to get an out here any way he can get it.
Naughton surrounded by Bucs right now.
As this pitch is swung on, hit in the air, left field was hit really hard but too high. Walters camping under it. He'll make the catch. They will sacrifice the run. Coming in to score is the runner Mactoff, but a big out as Daniel Naughton avoids any type of hit. 2 away now as coming to the plate next, Carson Rocafort.
Well, it's tough to get out of a jam like that without allowing just 1 run. Now your job is to minimize the damage to just that one and keep this a 2-run game.
That ball was hit really hard, but just got under it. Walters able to camp under it and make the play. 2 on, 2 out as there is ball 1 to Carson Rocafort. Standing in from the left side, Nunn trying to allowed just 1 run here in the 7th. There's ball 2, low and away, so he's fallen behind to Carson Rocafort, who does not have a home run on the year. But ahead 2-0, he's already got 12 walks, certainly prone to drawing him. Just 80 at-bats, 12 walks already, so he'll stand in now. As this ball is swung on, grounded up the third baseline, Rother stabs it on the backhand. He'll go to the bag himself. And how about Daniel Naughton? He does allow that 1 run, but he's able to work out of additional damage and keep this game at 6-4.
Well, regardless of how these two teams start the game, I feel like in the end, it's nearly inevitable that it's going to be a close one.
So the Miners get out with just 1 run. We're headed to the 8th. Miners 6, Bucs 4. We'll be back in just a few moments from Mulcahy Stadium. We get a call to the bullpen. Third pitcher on for the Bucs as we begin the 8th. It's David Christie, another Louisiana Lafayette Ragin' Cajun. As he's on now to begin the 8th. He's going to get 5, 6, 7 in the minor order. Rother Walters Nunez coming to the plate. Rother already 5 RBI on the day. The only way he'd get 6 here is with a home run, but he's already done that once today.
Yeah, you're going to be starting off with arguably the hardest opponent from this Miners lineup.
As Rother stands in and watches a strike 1 on a breaking ball from Christie, who's in his 10th game now, 16.2 innings. He's allowed 18 hits and 10 walks, so he's given up a fair amount of damage, almost a even 2 whip. He's allowed 9 runs, 8 of which have been earned, as it's 0-2 on Casey Rother. He struck out 18, though. ERA sitting at 4.32.
Right now, he's really just whipping it in there. You can see a lot of wrist action on these pitches.
0-2 pitch, swung on and tapped foul up the third base line. So we'll do it again. Casey Rother 0-2. Move to the batting gloves, or without the batting gloves, we said today. Appears to be working.
He's too much of an old school slugger to use batting gloves. It just doesn't make sense.
Couple of hits and a season high 5 RBI. As the 0-2 is off the plate, 1 and 2. Those RBIs tonight, Rother moves ahead of Tyler Rando for RBI on the year. He's now got 16 of them.
Christie also allowed a home run so far this year, so not out of the possibility this one slips through again.
3 hits on the day for Casey Rother as he's done nothing but rake. It's a leadoff single to begin the 8th, and now we're going to get Aaron Walters.
So that's 2 Miners now with 3 hits. He joins Holden Breeze, and the 2 of them are the pillars of this offense today.
Aaron Walters now coming in, looking to find a way aboard.
Got the hit in his first at-bat, but has been relatively quiet since. Would love to follow up Rother's single with another base hit.
1 on, none out. Here's a pitch from Christie as it's fouled back. 0-1.
Casey Rother has also now pushed his batting average to .314 on the season. So the only one still above 300 besides Holden Breeze, who's only played about 3 games.
0-1 on Walters as this pitch is off the plate. 1-1 from the Buck right-hander. To win, the Miners would improve to their ABL leading 22nd win of the year. They'd be 22-8 with a loss. The Bucs would slide to 12-18. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
If you go into the Miners clubhouse, there's a board by Tyler LeBron's own locker with all the goals he has for this team. You better believe he put 30 wins down at the start of the year, and this team is doing everything they can to get as close as they can.
Scooped out of the dirt there by Carrick, 2-2. Yeah, there's 10 games remaining, so with a win today, they'd be at 22, so they needed to win 8 out of their last 10 to finish the year with 30 wins. They'd need to win 9 out of 10 to finish with less than double-digit losses. That would be impressive, as that pitch just missed. Carrick thought it was strike 3. Instead, it's a full count.
And this team's already won 16 of their last 19, so winning consecutive games doesn't seem to be an issue.
The win today, they'd be winning 85% of their last 20 games. That's about as good as you can get.
I believe this would also be their 6th straight win.
I think something more impressive is pretty much every game has been somewhat close or very close. There's been very few games where the Miners have easily won. As this pitch is popped up foul as the Seagulls
are back.
The Seagulls, not them again.
The Sea Rats.
The Sea Rats. Rich Landon, classic line. A couple of them flew outside the field towards the parking lot. One's in dead center as he clears the center field fence. 2-2 on Walters. Christie at the set, here it comes, and he missed low. That was actually 3-2, so Walters walking down to first. It's a couple of runners aboard for the Miners. A single by Casey Rother, a walk by Aaron Walters, 2 on, none out. Now to be Ricky Nunez.
Ricky, hitless so far today. Right now, he's just trying to find the ball and put it the other way, even if it's just advancing the runner at second. He needs to do something to contribute to this offensive production.
Nunez with the chance to break this game open as he squares the bunt, can't get it down. Strike 1. Actually, there's going to be appeal, and it is a strike. So it was called. It must have been called a ball on the field, and then they gave it a swing on the appeal. So 0-1 on Nunez. Rother off of second, Walters off of first. Here's the pitch. Nunez swings, ground ball to short. Taylor made double play. It goes Donahue, Peñalis, Skipworth, double play, 6-4-3. 2 outs. Casey Rother going over to third.
Well, that went horribly in the grand scheme of things. Ricky Nunez right now just flustered. You can tell he's not where he wants to be with the bat, but can't have it every day. He just has to get back into the lineup and go again. Trust his teammate Sam Thompson at the dish.
Sam Thompson 0 for 3 on the day as he looks for his first hit. And there's a strike to Thompson. There is a ton of room back up the middle. The shortstop Donahue is playing well towards the hole. Anything near the middle is easily going to get into center field. 0-1 pitch, here it is. Swung on and tipped, and Thompson quickly down 0-2.
The run at third represents a major insurance run for the Miners. Only ahead by 2 right now. The last 2 games we played here in Mulcahy, the save pitchers have given up a run and made it even closer. So they don't even want to risk it right now.
Count slides to 1-2.
Thompson trying to avoid being fanned here.
As he swings and lines this one into left center field. Good for Sam Thompson as he breaks off the schneid. It's an RBI single for Sammy. Goes into left center. Kent State Golden Flash makes this a 7-4 ball game.
And the only thing Sam Thompson's got to be saying to Bubba Walters right now is finally. Finally, I get one down. He's been putting such good contact on the ball. Gets his first RBI and his first hit, and it is well overdue for him.
Added insurance run as David Bermudez steps in next.
Bermie also had an 0 for 3 day so far, but drove a walk, his first walk of the season last game. Maybe looking to do the same here and prolong this inning.
7-4, 2 outs in the 8th. Bermudez swings here and fouls that pitch off.
Actually, found out as well who the starting pitcher for the Miners is going to be against the Anchorage Adult Stars. It's going to be Casey Rother.
Rother has pitched some at Lehigh, so certainly no stranger to it as Carrick tried to frame it and did get the frame even as Carrick dropped that ball. 1-2 on Bermudez.
Now, I will say, I firmly believe I think Casey Rother can touch into the 80s. But,
yeah, definitely can touch it.
But if Nick Sorelli can out-throw Casey Rother...
That's almost certainly not going to happen, but you'll at least
he'll
give it a
earn
shot.
my respect and he can become a closer.
1-2, swung on and tapped, foul. Remain 1-2. It's been a long game as we go on almost 2.5 hours. About an inning and a half yet to play. Games in the Alaska Baseball League go much quicker than it would in Major League Baseball or even Minor League Baseball. Not a lot of time in between innings, not a ton of on-field promotions. This is just baseball at its purest form. 1-2 by Bermudez is shot up in the air, back out of play.
And that one nearly hit the lights over there as well, so avoiding a bit of a payment to Mulcahy.
Miners have come in 3 straight days and they're poised to take their 3rd win. One on Tuesday against the Pilots, yesterday against the Bucs, and hopefully with a 3-run lead in the 8th, Thursday against the Bucs, as Bermudez taps this one foul again. David Hacking still alive.
Bermudez is also one of the more soft-spoken players on this team, but he lets a lot of his play do his talking. He doesn't need to do a whole lot of communication.
Another foul ball, David Bermudez being as pesky as ever, as that bat will continue. No throwing down the minor pen. Nodden looks to be the man for the 8th. His next potential start, he would technically be in line for the start on Monday as this ball is tapped over to 3rd. So we'll save that thought for next inning as Vaqueros throw is in time. He'll nab Bermudez, who's down after a long at-bat.
Well, the Miners do manage to add one on thanks to Casey Rother getting all the way around. And that 1 run, I think, is going to come back and be extremely valuable in the grand scheme of things.
So we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 6 more outs for Miners pitching to go. We'll be back here from Anchorage in just a few moments. We have a new pitcher on for the 8th inning. Didn't see anybody warming up in the pen, but it appears Evan Floyd, right-hander from the University of West Florida, on to begin the bottom of the 8th. Floyd this year has appeared in 8 games. This will be his 9th. 13.2 innings all out of the bullpen. 14 hits. He surrendered 4 walks. Struck out 14. He's got a 1-1 record, as well as 3 saves to his name to go along with a 3.95 ERA. Kyson Donahue, 7-8-9 in the order. He'll be the first to the plate. He watches a fastball at the belt, strike 1.
Floyd also came in for a save against the Bucs last time out, though. It was Darwin Matos. Miners looking to get consecutive saves with only a 2-run or a 3-run lead at the moment.
A little bit upstairs, 1-1. Donahue, only man who has been able to get the Bucs on the scoreboard via a hit. He had a 3-run double back in the 4th. There's a fastball off the plate, 2-1. Floyd from Pensacola, but he was born in Anchorage, so local player technically. No, it's on 2 opposite ends of the country. 2-1. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Fastball, strike 2.
Just put that right beneath the hitter's bat. Nothing he could really do. Just pulled the string on him from the last one and had him looking high.
Floyd goes with a 4-seamer, splitter, and a slider. Get all the way up to 92 with the fastball. He stands at the set. Here it is. Swung on in line, back up the middle into center field. So have a day, Kyson Donahue. Leadoff single here to start the bottom of the 8th. Bucs have a runner.
Game's not over until it's over. That's what these matchups between the Bucs and the Miners have reminded us of every single time. As we are still going to wait on our first out. Floyd usually use that splitter to create something.
1 on, none out. Garrett Ostrander, Bucs center fielder, coming in. Floyd's first pitch is a swing and a miss. Fastball threw it right by him, 0-1.
Miners have an off day tomorrow, one that they've earned at this point, considering the stretch of success they've had.
Had a rain out against the Pilots on Monday, but it's been the 3rd straight game in a long stretch. Starting last week, I mean, they played on, I believe it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, rain out Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, now Thursday, and they played about as well as you can do.
Seeing if they're able to end that streak with another win here. So,
foul ball back up here to the box. Ostrander down a couple of strikes. Miners just 1 loss during that stretch. That came here at Mulcahy in an extra inning loss. Evan Floyd actually took the loss against the Chugiak River Chinooks, 6-2 in the ABL Showcase.
Miners hoping to find their first out here, maybe even 2.
As this ball is flared into right field, Nunez pretty much right at it. Camped under it, makes the catch. Easy out, 1 away.
1 down, 5 to go for the Miners.
Xavier Pinales, who gave a couple of balls deep rides into right center, but hasn't came up with any luck. Pinales, 0-for-3 day.
Behind him in the on-deck circle is Cole Carrig as well. 1 hit to his name so far.
There's a strike. Miners grounded into a double play in the top of this inning. Floyd may be thinking, hey, maybe I can get 1 to end the inning. Pinales, though, on his other out was a ground ball. He really runs well up the line and is unable to turn it. Just the fielder's choice. So that pitch is low. Pinales taking.
Respectable by Pinales at the plate. When you're down like this, a lot of teams want to get aggressive and create runs with just big swings. He's showing a lot of discipline at the moment.
Not swinging there as it's a ball. taking a long peek over at first is Floyd. And here it comes. And it's low again. 3-1.
Floyd obviously has some bags to give, but doesn't want to create a tie game situation. Should he get on, the tying run would be at the plate with Cole Carey.
3-1. Grounded up the first baseline. Sorelli to the bag. The throw to second. Not in time. Just getting under that. On the tag was Ostrander. Actually, not Ostrander. Donahue. Just able to get under that tag. Remember, on a grounder to first, where you touch the bag first, had to put the tag down. Throw beat him there, but able to get under that tag was Donahue. 1 on, 2 outs. Cole Carrick.
Sorelli almost was able to turn that double play as well. Just a second too slow, but regardless, Carrick has to create something that will get down in order to bring that run across.
Make sure to follow all of our social media accounts on Instagram at Matsu_miners. On Twitter at ABL, capital ABL, miners, all lowercase miners. And then on Facebook at Matsu Miners, posting tons of social updates, inside look at the team, upcoming schedules, pretty much everything that we'll post will be on those 3 websites as Floyd throws the ball, and Thompson will go out to the mound to talk with Floyd.
How about the day for Sam Thompson behind the plate as well?
RBI hit, threw out a guy, picked off a guy over at first. He's played pretty good defense behind the plate.
Besides one pass ball, I'd say he's done a great job framing the zone with what's been an inconsistent call behind the plate so far.
Thompson's done his job. Giving the Miners a good bat out of the 8-hole as he's been able to produce that RBI. 7-4, 2 outs here in the 8th. As Carrick watches another ball, so he's heading out 2-0.
Denying them any scoring opportunity here could go a long way for the Miners. You want to make sure that the hill they have to climb is as big as possible entering the 9th.
As this pitch is swung on and hit on the ground over to Sorelli, who scoops it up. It's a hot shot, but Sorelli beats Carrick to the bag. Showing off the wheels, Nick Sorelli. That'll end things here in the 8th.
You could tell by the look on Sorelli's face he was not going to be beat into that bag.
Leadoff single for Kyson Donahue, but he's unable to be brought around. We're headed to the 9th. Miners 3-run lead, 7-4 here from Mulcahy. Stay tuned for the top of the 9th inning. back here to start the ninth, and there's a bit of a disagreement. Cole Carrick and the Miner dugout were going at it, jawing, and now the Anchorage Buck manager out to talk with the home plate umpire. Carrick being talked with by an assistant coach. I mean, that was about as clear as it gets. Carrick jawing with the dugout. Regardless, though, Spencer Bengard is going to be the new pitcher on as we begin the top of the ninth. Bengard this year has been one of the better relievers in the ABL, just a 1.45 ERA. This will be his 10th game, 18 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 24 batters. He does have a loss.
So right now, I don't even think the most exciting thing that's happening is on the field, as that was some of the most heated we've seen either team get in the ABL.
And it's been building. We've seen the past couple days the tensions have ran high. We saw Tyler LeBron come out of the dugout. It was nearly thrown out of the game earlier, back in the early innings, as now we play in the ninth. Hopefully, no type of fight or anything of that sort. Hopefully we can get through the game, rest of the game clean. Anyhow, Miners up 7-4 as Bengard being brought on now. Bucs going to their best reliever here, trying to keep the score at just a 3-run deficit. Top of the order, Holden Breeze. 3 hits on the day for him. He'll begin things here in the ninth.
So, for one note, the Miners in this game have 8 total hits. Casey Rother and Holden Breeze have 6 of them.
It's pretty good, as Breeze stands in and watches ball 1.
Breeze so far has wasted no time making that average just inflated as possible.
It's this one into right center field, but that one is going to be tracked down by the right fielder over there to make the catch. Rocca Fort, 1 out.
1 out, nobody on. That brings up center fielder.
Able to get on. Tyler Wilson coming to the plate now. He's been really productive too. In that 2-hole today, he has a walk as well as 2 runs scored. Scored on a fielder's choice as well. Standing in, first pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball from Spencer Bengard. He goes ahead, 0-1. Bengard plays his college baseball at Cal Baptist.
And while his batting average against is above the Mendoza line, that whip just above 1, he generally makes it pretty tough for anybody to get extra bases or create much offense. It's pretty chopped up when he's on control on the mound.
From Moreno Valley, California, as this ball's tapped back up the middle, fielded by Donahue. He goes to first, 6-3, ground out, 2 away. Moreno Valley, California, right near Riverside. Another guy right near Ricky Nunez. Southern California bloodline. It's east of Los Angeles. Nick Sorelli, productive day. As usual, he's got 3 walks. He's coming to the plate next.
Sorelli, he could have a 4-walk day. I wouldn't put it outside of him that he just doesn't even want to swing if they're going to keep pitching around him.
First pitch to Nick is a swing and a miss. Up and in with the breaking ball. Sorelli in front of it, 0-1.
With the 3 he has today, he is 24 walks on the year. Could be 25 with another one here.
So he watches a strike, 0-2.
And so as the Miners are down to what may be their last out here, you have to turn your eyes towards the Pepsi bullpen once again, as the ultimate closer for the Miners seems to be warming his arm up.
Alex Majors getting loose. 0-2. Swung on and line down the left field line. That's going to drop. It's going to roll. Up with it is Macdoff. Sorelli digging, but he's going to stop his tracks. He took a giant turn around first. He'll head back. It's a 2-out single for Nick Sorelli. He's on board for the 4th time today. Has not been put away yet.
No, only 1 at-bat and that 1 hit, but the 3 walks as well. His OBP is really getting a good bump today. Now, it's going to be Tyler Rando, who has gotten on with his own walk, but would like to follow Sorelli's suit of getting his first hit.
First pitch here, fastball for a strike. Snap throw down, not in time. Standing in. Here's the pitch. Strike. Rando taking. Sorelli also had that sac bunt as well. So he was put out one time, but it was a productive at-bat.
Here's the appeal.
There's a ball, 2-1 on Rando. Sorelli's bunt enabled second and third and helped the Miners put up a couple in the fifth.
Alex Majors is just looking on. He's ready to enter this game.
Rando taking a strike there. He's down a couple. Miners down to their last strike here in the top of the ninth.
Same situation that Sorelli got his hit. 2-strike count.
Upstairs with it. 2-2. Now Majors, if this game were to remain a 3-run game, would be on for the save. He's already converted 5 saves on the year. Sorelli taking off here as that pitch is fouled away.
Let the big man run.
He can move. I mean, he's not a slouch.
No, he's really agile, and you can tell a lot when he's fielding balls for unassisted outs around first. He's a brick wall when it comes to gobbling up anything by the first baseline.
9:41 local time. Sorelli taking off. It's ball 4. Tyler Rando. Give him 3 walks on the day. Miners today have just taken so many walks. Rando with another, and now it's Casey Rother, who is 3 for 4 rather on the day. 5 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He's been as good as it gets.
That's just a monster stat line. That's something that most of these players accumulate over about 2 games, as we also have a pinch runner coming on. Sorelli did his job getting him to second, and now it's going to be Josh Morozic taking over.
Morozic out to run for Sorelli. And now some more jolling. Cole Carrig is having an ongoing conversation with the Miner dugout. Looks like Christian Seelhorst also out of the dugout chirping at him.
And Seelhorst straight up told him, calm down.
Yeah, I'm not really...
Carrig just looking for conflict right now.
I'm not really sure what happened over there, but Seelhorst trying to play peacemaker as 2 away, 2 on Casey Rother. First pitch, fastball, strike 1. Good pitch from Bengard.
Rother, a chance to add a ridiculous 6 RBI with Morozic in scoring position should he get a good shot.
As he swings and misses on a breaking ball, down a couple of strikes is Rother, but he's been in this position before. Not afraid to take a big hack. 5 RBIs on the day. Morozic way off second. I mean, he could steal third. Probably crawling right now as the 0-2 pitch is a fastball just off 1-2.
Morozic seems springed and ready to go from second. He's going to launch out of that regardless. Once he hears that ball hit, I don't think he's going to look anywhere but home.
As check swing, did he go around? Yes, he did. Casey Rother fanned for the final out here in the top of the ninth. More chirping as we're going to stay here for a second. Cole Carrig once again staring right into that Miner dugout. And out of the dugout, we could have some conflict. Carrig being motioned back into the dugout. This is an ongoing conversation. He'll go back, and
some of the Miners are finding it amusing. Some of them are getting really riled up. So there is definitely some tensions going on.
Nate
Beimel, you're already hurt.
He faked it like he was running out on the field to charge it.
He's ready to back up his teammates no matter what.
Injured, Nate Beimel's going to be Nate Beimel. So we'll head to the bottom of the ninth. Majors on for his 6th save of the year, and we'll be back in just a few moments from Anchorage.
the rally in the ninth.
We start the bottom of the ninth. Hopefully the last frame here from Anchorage until the last game of the year. And on the pitch, Alex Majors. Why would you go to anybody else? Majors this year has been lights out for the most part on the year for Alex. His ERA has actually spiked up to 3.95. He's had a couple of rocky appearances his last couple outings, but in general, he's been really good. 14.1 innings. He's produced 15 strikeouts. 3-0 record and 5 saves. Regardless of what he does, he seems to get outs. Here's a blooper into center field, and that's a leadoff single for Jack McDoff.
He does get outs, but also against this Bucs team, he seems to give up a few hits here and there.
The Bucs have had his number as of late.
Jake Skipworth.
Skipworth in. Right-handed batter.
I think the Bucs might be just thanking their stars that Cole Carrick isn't the one coming up with the bat to start this inning off.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. He was the last out of the eighth, so we are likely not to see him. Even if this game goes to extra innings, they could still make a change. But it's 1-0 here on Skipworth. Majors, runner on first, trying to work around damage.
He's someone that doesn't waste a whole lot of time in between pitches either.
Fires here, pitch, fastball, strike one, low. 1-1 is swinging through it, Skipworth. On deck for the Bucs, it's a pinch hitter. Actually, appears to be Woody Hayden.
Will be pinch hitting for Cole Moore in that situation.
Remember, Moore was replaced to a pinch runner earlier. Ricky Gatter came on to run for him. It's 2-1 though on Skipworth. If he can reach tying runs, does sit in that on deck circle. Major sets. Here it comes. It's off the plate, and all of a sudden, Alex Majors is in danger of letting on the first two men in the ninth.
Well, I don't think that one was a bad pitch. A down and away breaking ball is exactly what he wanted. It just wasn't offered at.
Swing and a miss. Fishing at a low one. That was probably ball four. Skipworth unable to get it. Count goes full.
Both pitcher and batter up against the wall. We'll see who's going to give.
3-2 pitch. On the way. And he struck him out with the slider. Alex Majors. The front door slider. Jake Skipworth back to the dugout. One away.
With 1 out and 1 on.
I'm really interested in keeping my eyes on his grip as Hayden steps into the box.
Number 2, Woody
But
Hayden.
he's been moving back and forth between that slider and splitter.
Maybe a mix of both of them. As that one was definitely a slider. Good movement on it. Woody Hayden, the pinch hitter off the bench for the Bucs. 1 on, 1 out. Left-hander watches ball one in. 1-0. Bucs trying to finally snap out of this slump, but they have only 2 more outs to do so. As this pitch is fouled away, 1-1. Just 1-9 in their last 10.
That foul ball brought to you by Sweetie Glass.
And Hayden hoping at all means to avoid a double play and ending this game.
Pitch away, 2-1 on Woody Hayden, whose birth name is Ryan, goes by Woody. We've already had the Toy Story talk, so we'll tell you Woody is hailing from Temecula, California, UC Irvine. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike 2, drilled the edge with that. Perfect pitch. And the Bucs dugout did not like that. That, honestly, is probably one of the better pitches we've seen called for strikes today. That one looked a lot better than a lot of pitches called for strikes. As this one's hit into left field, but right at Aaron Walters, who's throwing into first. Or Walters actually moved over to first base. Ricky Nunez made that catch.
And great throw, too.
Yeah, I forgot to say the defensive replacement. Jared Sweeney came in to play third as Sorelli went out. Sweeney to third. Walters to first. Rother to right. Nunez to left.
And in the midst of all that, it comes down to Alex Majors staring down Diego Vaquero, the last man standing.
Vaquero, first pitch swinging, foul ball up the third base line, 0-1. It'd be win number 22 on the year for the Matsu Miners. On 16 out of 19 coming in, it would make it 17 out of 20. And an off day tomorrow, a non-league game Saturday, off day Sunday. So they'd get a well-needed break, despite all their winning ways, as swinging through a slider, perfect pitch, Alex Majors. We are down to the last strike.
This is the kind of stuff you want from your closer, where they don't even look touchable.
Majors 0-2. Mactoff off of first. Here it is. Swung on, and he just got a piece of that. Went right back to the slider. Still 0-2.
Jacob Vaquero has no room for error. Down 3, and he is the last out.
Vaquero. Back in. Here's the 0-2. Thought about it. Didn't go. Just inside. Good take by Vaquero. 1-2.
I don't know how you stop yourself there.
That was a good pitch. It missed, but it was a good pitch, especially on 0-2. Major sets the 1-2. Swung on and grounded to short. Bermudez up with it the short way to Holden Breeze. And that'll wrap up win number 22 of the year. Alex Majors shuts the door in the ninth. The Miners with their ABL best 22nd victory of the season. And we will head to a off day tomorrow as maybe a bit more chirping. Tyler Rando talking to Jack Mactoff. That'll hopefully be the end of the conflict today, as certainly this game was not without conflict.
No, not at all. I mean, I think there's been a lot of animosity between these teams over the past couple contests. They're always close, so there's bound to be frustration, at least on one side. But Cole Carrig, he's a talker, and I think the Miners really found that out today.
So, regardless, the Miners 7-4 winners tonight. They take advantage of a 4-run first on the back of Casey Rother with a grand slam. They score 2 in the 5th as well, and then 1 in the 8th. So the Miners once again improved to 22-8 on the year, winners of their last 6 and 17 out of their last 20. The Anchorage Bucs dropped to 12-8. So I've been Reese Landon, joined by Sean Neves, saying so long here from Mulcahy Stadium. Miners win. The win goes to Michael Paul. The loss goes to Jacob Rutherford. Alex Majors picks up his 6th save. So once again, so long. And we'll be back again on Saturday. Off day tomorrow. Non-league game on Saturday against the Anchorage Adult League All-Stars. So we'll be back for that broadcast starting at 6 p.m.